Go on. Take your seats. Okay, before we start, when you take this exit to my left, there are restrooms there. So if you wish to use the services, the exit to my left, just as you exit that door, you will see the signages. At this point, I'd like to welcome our host. But before I welcome her, let me declare that in Kenyan language, they call them Watwamkodo. Even in your businesses, you have such people, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes, no? You don't have Watwamkono, your errand people? You do have, right? So I stand before you. I'm the errand boy for this morning. My name is Fabian. I will soon introduce who our host is. I'll soon introduce the captain who is steer this plane to its purposeful destination. Thank you very much once again. I would like to welcome our host onto the stage to give her opening remarks, after which she will welcome the keynote speaker, Eunice Kimani, the Director, Entrepreneurship Programs at Genesis Business School. Welcome.
Wow. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, icons of industry. Good morning, employees. Wow, it's a great honor to have you around. This is our very first icons of industry where we are targeting entrepreneurs and business leaders. This will be our event. So mark your calendar, even next year around this time, we shall be having this every year. So I'd like to acknowledge our colleagues who are joining us all the way from India, our colleagues that are joining us all the way from South Africa, from Nigeria, from Uganda, from Tanzania, and other customers from Mozambique, Zimbabwe, because Regenesis is not just Kenyan. Regenesis is global, and therefore, even as we start this very first icons of industry, our breakfast, we are saying that we'll be doing this in other countries also, not just in Kenya. I hope when we shall be doing it in another country, you will accept to go with me so that you go and network and build business linkages with the other icons of the industries globally, so that you are able to benchmark and be able to make networks that can take your business to the next level. So my name is Eunice Kimani. I am blessed to be your host today. I know my bosses are watching me from South Africa, from India, and from wherever they are. And so as I represent this great organization, to say that our because you are the ones, you are the ones that are the drivers, you are the engine of our economies, not just in Kenya, but even in Africa and globally. And so I'm not only addressing the Kenyans that are here. I am sure our IT guys are trying to ensure that we are live on YouTube so that we are talking to entrepreneurs. So we might have a small group of people here, but the people that will be following us and the people that will be joining us, even as we continue the conversation, are not just seated here in a global, because Regenesis is global. And so, very quickly, I would like to take us through who is Regenesis. And I know maybe you've not known so much about Regenesis, and you have been wondering, you've been asking, who is Regenesis? So let me tell you who Regenesis is, and I hope, I don't know whether you're able to see my screen, but I'll just say a few things about Regenesis. And when we're talking about Regenesis is a group of companies, and of course, the mother of which is Regenesis Business School. And Regenesis Business School is actually the largest business school in Africa. In terms of number of students, you might not believe it. It is headquartered in South Africa. And it is the largest in terms of students and in terms of revenues. So headquartered in South Africa, and of course, with branches in other countries. So this is education overview. Regenesis Education was established in 1997. It's one of the Africa's leading business schools dedicated to providing world-class education that develops conscious leaders capable of making positive impact globally. And it is true. I was just checking at some of the alumni of Regenesis, and I discovered that they are all over the world and they are making impact. So the school offers a range of internationally recognized undergraduate and postgraduate programs across various disciplines, including business, public management, finance, law, technology, and education. Our vision is that we are awakening the potential of individuals and organizations by enhancing management and leadership skills to navigate the challenges in both commercial and public sectors. So we make sure that we awaken your potential. And Regenesis believes that every human being was created with a potential. But most of the people, and some of them seated here, and some of them following us, they have not known the kind of potential that they have. And so Regenesis is your partner to awaken your potential. Some of the customers that we have served over the years, including the business leaders and even public leaders, have reached their aha moment of saying, I didn't know I am able to do this. I didn't know I am able to become who I have become today. So we have been able to work with leaders, some holding very senior positions in governments, and they have reached their aha moment because their potential has been awakened. And our mission as Regenesis is to, we are committed to excellence in teaching, learning, and research, aiming to produce top-notch graduate prepared for leadership, leadership roles in their respective uh, industries. We pride ourselves with some core values, and of course we have various values, but we pride ourselves in some of these values. Of course, excellence. Every higher institution, an institution of higher learning, all of them would like to be excellent, and Genesis is one of them. We are committed to high standards of education and personal development. So when you come to us, you just leave us as an excellent leader. Integrity. We uphold ethical practices in all aspects of the institution. Innovation. I think Genesis is leading innovation, and that's why we are talking so much about cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, data science. We talk about innovation. And we tell our people that if you want to grow, you must embrace change and foster creativity, of course, in education and in every approach. We talk about inclusivity. We pride ourselves in inclusivity, promoting diversity and supportive learning environment for all our students. The first time I joined Regenesis, I heard this mantra they talk about education for all. Education for all. I have seen people who come from, slums able to do our degrees, even in South Africa. Why? Because Genesis education believes in education for all. That person who cannot be able to afford a university degree, cannot afford to take up a master's degree, they have been given that chance in Genesis Business Group. And so we believe in inclusivity, and we believe that education for all is what we should embrace. These are our strategic pillars. Of course, we have several, but I'll just pick a few. Our strategic pillars, we are guided by excellence in education, making sure that we are developing leaders that can be able to be depended on to drive economies. We are also great in leadership development, making sure that when we can't hold you, we help you to become a leader that is able to make impact in your society, in your business, in your organization. We are also are holistic in learning approaches, making sure that we are looking at a person spiritually, we are looking at that person socially, looking at the whole person, making sure that we develop a whole person, a person that is able to lead. We are customer centric. We make sure that we listen to our customers. In our office at GTC, where we are here in Kenya, we've seen customers who came and said, I would like to be trained on this issue. We did not, on this particular program, we did not wait for us to fill a full class to take you through cybersecurity. We've seen a lot of Form 4 students that have finished, and they have come to us, they have said, I would like to know something about data science. We did not wait to fill a class. We were able to meet the desire of that person and take them through our programs. Technological advancement. We believe that technology is here to stay, and you cannot be able to be successful if you don't agree with technology. Technology has caught up with us, AI has caught up with us, and we have to accept it and embrace technology. In our business today, if you don't embrace technology, you'll just be outdated. Global reach and local relevance. We make sure that we reach the world. And that's what I've been telling entrepreneurs. Even when you do our program here, we don't let you remain here. We connect you with the global entrepreneurs, for you to network with them, for you to go outside there and do industry immersion, and for you to build business linkages with other global leaders. So we make sure that even our programs, we have a global representation. And even in our local countries where we are offering our programs, because we have footprints in very many countries, we make sure that we are relevant in that particular country, offering the programs and services that relate to the needs of the citizens of any country. Research and innovation, we believe that we need research, we need data in order to be able to make good decisions. And so we do not tire to research. As an institution of higher learning, we are always researching. When we are talking about AI, we have a lot of tools, a lot of solutions, a lot of AI tools. But I was asking my colleague, every day you keep telling me about this tool. The other day you told me another tool. The other day you told me another tool. And they keep researching and coming up with various solutions that our leaders can use. So we keep researching and innovating. We believe in social responsibility. We believe that we are responsible citizens, and we work a lot with our communities that are around us to get to know their needs and to get to know what we can do to support everybody. Remember, our mantra is education for all. Whether it is that person that has never stepped in school, we have some of education, an aspect of education that we offer to them. Digital regenesis, and I know that in Kenya, we are trading under digital regenesis. And of course, even our degrees that we are offering, and Praveen at the back, Praveen, show up your hand. Praveen is situated here in Kenya, of course, in charge of our Regenesis Business School courses. And of course, because we are not offering the degrees, the masters, the PhDs here, you can do them online, or you can travel to South Africa, where we have a very beautiful university. But Praveen will tell you at the end of this program that you can do your program in the evening, you can do it online, or you can travel to South Africa. We have said that we are global, and so we are not restricted by the geographical area. So, and who is Digital Genesis? And this is how we are trading in Kenya. And of course, we are situated at GTC 12th floor. If you want to see us, you can come there. Digital Regenesis is the key initiative within Regenesis Education that focuses on delivering flexible online education solutions. And of course, now with the coming of entrepreneurship and believing how entrepreneurship like networking, we are also going to introduce physical classes. But you have majorly been offering online education solutions through Digital Regenesis here in Kenya, and even in Tanzania and Uganda. And what is the relationship between Regenesis Digital and Regenesis Education? Digital Regenesis is the groundbreaking online platform by Regenesis. It complements its traditional offering by providing access to high quality education through online platforms. And this allows students from diverse backgrounds to engage with the curriculum without geographical constraints. I'll be finishing soon. These are our services offered at Digital Regenesis. Of course, we have online courses. When we finish, you can go back there. You'll see a lot of the cutting-edge digital courses designed to upskill individuals in various fields that we are offering there. Of course, we also have short learning programs focused on courses that enhance specific skills needed for job market today, including the cutting-edge entrepreneurial programs. And one of which we are launching it today, and corporate training education. If you are in a corporate, we have programs for you. Let me finish up because of time. already talked about the programs we offer. We have various programs, leadership development programs. We have some tailored workshops. We have executive education courses. And of course, a lot of programs that we will be seeing with our people back then. So thank you so much. I would like now, without further ado, bring on board a very special person that is amongst us this morning. And he'll be our keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker is a seasoned AI and emerging technology leader with over 8 years of experience in driving AI innovation. I made sure that as we talk about AI as a game changer, the new reality for business expansion, we can draw from the industry. And every person that you see seated here as a panelist, they are all using AI. They will tell us their experience using AI and what AI has been able to do for them. So our keynote speaker, for over 8 years, has experience in driving AI innovation, community building, capacity building, and strategic partnerships in East Africa. As the founder and programs lead of AI Kenya, he has established East Africa's largest AI community, nurturing its growth to a robust network of over 70,000 members. Can you imagine? You would like to be part of that community. This community includes a diverse mix of AI professionals, researchers, developers, and tech enthusiasts, fostering an inclusive and collaborative ecosystem. AI Kenya's success under his leadership has been recognized with prestigious accolades, including the best tech community in Kenya in 2019. Let's applaud him. Let's back up to our keynote speaker and the best AI community in Africa in 2020. Let's applaud him. So in AI ecosystem building has been instrumental in driving awareness, education, and capacity building around AI across the East Africa. This is a person to befriend. He also serves as a managing director and lead consultant at Mind Intelligence Limited, a consulting and professional service company that focuses on helping organizations succeed in technology. So those who fear technology have someone to support you. And product innovation with a focus on artificial intelligence and closely related technologies. We wouldn't have gotten a better keynote speaker than Alfred Ongere. Let's put on together. Keynote remark to the audience seated here. Karibu-san.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alfred Ongere, and I'm glad to be presenting the keynote for you today. The title of my keynote will be the AI Advantage for Modern Businesses. A bit of introduction about myself. I'm Alfred Ongere. I have a background in telecommunications and information engineering. I've worked in the IT consulting industry for about 10 years. up to now. I first got started in AI working as a trainer with Intel in 2016. And after I finished working with Intel, that's how I started AI Kenya, which is one of the largest AI communities in East Africa. Apart from working on AI Kenya, I've consulted with multiple businesses, a couple of them being B-Mobile and Payless, which I recently left. And I've also served in senior leadership positions such as CTO and CPO, CPO being Chief Product Officer. So to get us started, I want us to stretch a bit, and if everyone can stand. And the key question as you stand and stretch, because I know you're full with breakfast, if your business relies on any of these technologies, you can sit down. So if your business relies on electricity, transportation, internet, telecommunication, payment systems, and computers, you can sit down. However, if your business does not, if you can run your business without any of these technologies, please remain standing. Okay. So there's no one who is completely off grid and is running a successful business here without any of these technologies. Okay, that's interesting. And the reason I shared that, I first want to take you back to the 19th century. And before electricity, factories were dark, dangerous places that were powered by steam engines. And this introduced the limitations of workers only working during daylight hours and also mechanical constraints. So that meant business at that time could not produce as much as today. And fast forward to now, electricity arrived, and now we have not only a power source, but a technology that has completely reimagined productivity. So now factories can operate 24/7. Lighting became safer in the factories, and machines became more flexible, and entire new industries emerged. And now I want us to look at a typical work desk in the 1900s, around 1990, just before 2000. So this is how a desk looked like at that time. So you can see we have a calendar, we have a notice board, you have a picture frame, we have a globe of a map, we have a calculator, we have a typical computer, we have a phone, we have books. And now I want us to see how all of this has been replaced over the years. So now you can see the computer has become one device. It's a laptop. The printer is going away. The newspapers are going away. The books are going away. The printer has gone away. The global map has gone away. Basically, everything is going to disappear, and it's going to all be compacted in one device, which is the laptop, and also the smartphone. So this introduces the concept of general purpose technologies. So this is not the GPT that most of you are used to, but even before the GPT of AI, we have general purpose technologies, which have reshaped how societies function. It has revolutionized industries and paved the way for other innovations. And general purpose technologies are characterized by three main things. The first one is it's pervasive, it's widely applicable, it can impact multiple sectors and industries at the same time. It is also transformative. It changes how tasks are performed, improving efficiency and creating new opportunities. And then lastly, they are catalytic. They spur additional innovations and advancement. So the advance of electricity encourage other innovations. And now we look at the different innovation cycles. From the first one in the 1700s, where we had water power, textiles, iron, to the second wave, where we have steam power, rail, and steel, to the third wave, where we had electricity, chemicals, internal combustion engine. The fourth one, where we had petrochemicals, electronics, aviation. The fifth one, which was very transformative, where we had the internet, digital networks, software, and new forms of media, such as social media. And then the sixth wave, which we are currently in, which is AI, IoT, robots and drones, and clean tech. So now we stand at the cusp of another transformative technology, which is artificial intelligence. So like the general purpose technology predecessors, AI isn't just a tool, it's a fundamental reimagining of how intelligence and problem solving can be approached. AI represents the next great leap in general purpose technologies. It's not just about automation, but augmenting human capability, creating unprecedented efficiency, and generating solutions we haven't yet imagined. So for us to be on the same page, I just want to share a simple definition of AI. It's a technology that allows machines to learn, reason, and make decisions, much more like a very high-skilled employee who can process massive amounts of information instantaneously. And I want us to focus on one word there. Can someone give me the most important word there? Who would want to try? Out of this entire definition, what is the most powerful word that distinguishes artificial intelligence and a human? Just raise your hand. Yes? Process? Another one? Instantaneously. Another one before I say the right one? Reason. One last one. Sorry? Massive. Good. Scale. Okay. So all of you are correct, but in my view, he was correct. The most powerful concept here is instantaneously. The fact that, yes, you can clap for the fact that a human cannot process 3 consecutive tasks at the same time. So I can give you 3 documents and I want you to read them. And then I ask you for a summary in less than 10 seconds. But you can do the same thing to a machine and it can give you a summary even in less than 5 seconds. So we ultimately have to acknowledge that machines have an advantage in terms of capacity and being able to handle multiple processes at the same time. So I want to share a few examples so that we are on the same page. And even before I share these examples, I want to highlight that artificial intelligence has been with us for a very long time. Even from the 2000s, we were already interacting with different forms of artificial intelligence. One example is conversations that leverage natural language processing. These are solutions such as chatbots and voice-activated assistants and live translation devices. Anyone in the room who has not used ChatGPT or Cloud, please raise your hand. Anyone who has not used? If you haven't used, you actually have an advantage. So don't feel shy. Good. Yes, so, and what about Alexa? How many people here have used Alexa? You have a smart speaker in your house and you're able to switch on the lights when you come in the evening by just saying, Alexa, turn on the lights, or Alexa, switch on your lights to red, green. How many have Echo devices? Google Home Assistant? Oh, that's really good. And then of course, live translation. When you travel to other countries, you realize how important languages. I was in Somalia the previous week, and I can acknowledge that it's very hard communicating with people who don't understand English or Swahili. So we need to leverage tools such as artificial intelligence to provide live translation as you speak, and some of these solutions are already being provided right now. Then you also have computer vision. Facial recognition, you're able to unlock your phone using your face. When you go to the malls or certain buildings, depending on where you live, you have an automatic license plate recognition system, which reads your number plate, logs in the time you've come, and then when you're leaving, the same system has to read your number plate, check if you've paid or not. So the aspect of reading the license plate technology is a form of computer vision, which is artificial intelligence. We also have robotics. In manufacturing plants, robots are taking most of the repetitive work. We have human assistant robots. Tesla recently launched a very powerful one that I think is going for $20,000, but I believe that cost will come down as they produce them on scale. Then we also have amusement park robots. When you visit some amusement parks, you interact with human-like figures, which are actually robots and not real humans. Then we also have planning and navigation. Self-driving cars are here. Yes, they might not work everywhere. They need a digital representation of the environment so that they work very well. But they're all over. If you go to TikTok and just search Pulse self-driving or self-driving cars, you'll see so many examples for different countries. And then we also have Amazon, where in their warehouses, they have robots that actually pick delivery packet boxes from one area to another at a much efficient rate than humans. We also have predictive analytics, such as weather forecasting and financial forecasting, which I'm sure most of you have interacted with. In the fintech and in the banking industry, we see a lot of this. We have automated the credit scoring process. You don't need to have a loan officer who asks you to fill a form and they have to read through all your data, your M-Pesa statement, your bank statement, and then after reading for 5 minutes, they tell you, okay, we think we can give you a loan. No, all that data, including your M-Pesa statement, your bank statement, is fed to a system, which then scores you based on other factors and then gives you a credit score. And this actually helps the financial institution to manage risks as a business. And then I have another question. I have these three images. Don't know if you can see them clearly, but I think they're clear enough. And I want to ask, out of all these three, which one is AI generated and which one is actual, a real picture out of the three? Anyone wants to answer? If you think all of them are AI generated, if you think one of them is real, if you think one of them is AI generated, who wants to? I'll take 3 guesses. Who wants to try? Yes, number 3 is? Number 3 is an actual image, right? Okay. Any other person? No answer is wrong. And remember, you'll be interacting with this in less than 5 seconds in the actual human environment. So the marketing company won't be asking you whether you think it's real or fake. It's you are driving and you see these images on a billboard. Yes. Number 3 is AI generated. One last person, okay, but this side, this is where the sharp ones are sitting. This table, yes. Number 2 is real or AI generated? AI. Okay. Number 2 is AI generated. What about number 1? No one is talking about number 1. Number one and number two are AI. Okay, so there are no real images here. There are no real images. Yes. One is AI, two real. Okay. The actual answer is all of them are AI generated. And it's just that this projector and the light here is not doing me justice. But if you could actually see them in real life, you can't actually tell the difference whether it is a real person or it is AI generated. So the technology has really advanced, and you need to keep an eye out. But at the end of the day, it becomes a question of, is it a use case where you need to disclose that the images you're using are AI generated, or you can just use AI generated images and no one has to really know? So you need to be very cautious, because when it comes to situations such as election campaigns where you have the power of influencing many people, you really have to disclose that the images you're using are AI generated. And Kenyan hawkers already cashing in on this. If you've seen in some of the streets around in town, you'll see some hawkers that are selling AI generated art. And at the end of the day, I'm sure the customers that are buying them, they like the fact that it is art that looks good, that inspires something in them. It's not about the art being AI generated or not. So what we are talking about is a form of artificial intelligence called GenAI, or generative artificial intelligence, which is capable of generating new content, data, or information that wasn't explicitly fed to them. So you can have multiple combinations of the two ladies. Here you can make them have dreadlocks. You can change their dressing and all that. In the second image of product showcase alongside a river, you can change that setting to a mountain. So similar images to this were fed to a system to train it on how to generate these images, but those images were not exactly like this. So if you analyze it on a pixel level, there are certain aspects of the images that have changed. And we have many examples of generative AI platforms. We have image generators such as FaceApp and Midjourney. We have text generators. You've interviewed ChatGPT, Cloud by Perplexity. You have music composition. They're able to compose music. You can also generate voices and speech, such as 11 Labs, or there's another platform called Agen. There's also very powerful video generation platforms that are disrupting how Hollywood is making movies. And eventually, Hollywood have just decided to cooperate with these tools and see how they can work alongside them. Because at the end of the day, you as a movie consumer, you don't really care whether Iron Man was made behind a green screen or whether they went to an actual site to make the movie. You only care about the outcome. Are you entertained or not? And yes, we also have generative AI startups in Africa or Kenya. We've highlighted some examples with AI Kenya, such as CareerGo, that allows you to automate your job application process. In less than 1 minute, it can help you write a resume or personalize your resume for job application. We have Mwakili that provides legal assistance. Then we also have ChatKGV. Certain, let's say you're arguing with your partner and you want to start the conversation with a Bible verse so that you seem diplomatic. It's able to give you a Bible verse for you to start the conversation. So you can watch some of the interviews on this on our YouTube page, on the AI Kenya YouTube page. Then Kenya is a highly digitized country with a population of 55.6 million in January 2024. These are just estimates. It had a mobile penetration of 99.7%. So that means out of this 55.6, at least most of them have more than one mobile device. So the penetration of mobile devices, whether it's a feature phone or smartphone, is very high. This was 2024. So right now, I think the figures have really gone up, and almost half of the population, or 40% of the population, can access the internet or are active internet users. And the reason I'm sharing that is, out of all those statistics, OpenAI.com was the most visited site in Kenya. So after Google, YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, Guja, OpenAI was the 6th most visited site. So that tells you that Kenyans are a very curious audience, and an audience that likes to experiment a lot with technology. So that's why OpenAI is one of the, actually the top, I'd say, software platforms that are visited in the country. So at the end of the day, it's really important to know what kind of AI persona you are. Are you an observer where you are yet to integrate any AI into your work? The result? Unrebel, underground, or maximalist? Okay, so let me present this. Okay. Yeah, so you can visit menti.com and use the code 75581635. So I'm seeing we have 10 maximalists, we have 11 undergrounds, we have 3 superfans, then we have 6 observers. We don't have any rebels in the house? Okay, so my job is to make sure I now turn everyone into a maximalist, right? So let's hope at the end of the presentation, I'll be able to do that. So let's get back. Yes, and at the core of automation and AI, you really need to look at it from the aspect of business processes. So whether you're a solo entrepreneur or you're a small business or you're a large enterprise, we all have these different business processes from marketing, legal, IT, human resource, and so on that you need to engage in for your business to be successful or for your business to scale. And all these processes can be characterized by different formats, whether it's numerical, text, audio, video, or images. So at the end of the day, you need to translate all these different business processes into any of these formats, and then that becomes the first interface where AI comes in. So there are multiple tools for different processes. Because of time, I won't be able to go through many tools, but I'll just highlight some of them. So the first one is customer support. And the challenge with customer support is you have so many customers who are reaching out instantaneously to get their issues resolved. So you can leverage a platform such as Intercom that will automate the answers that you give to your customers, and then you're able to train it and ask it to escalate to a human agent when it reaches scenarios where it can't necessarily handle that particular customer inquiry. So by doing that, you are decreasing the workload if you really have a very small customer care team, and you allow your customer care team to work on more creative problems. The other one is Apollo.io, that is generally a lead scoring and prospecting tool. So it will scrape multiple sites, Google, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and so on, to look for different leads in different industry that you might want to target. And it will even go a step further and automate the email and follow up with the clients. Then you also have Jasper. If you're in marketing, it helps you to generate marketing copy and create personalized content. Even so, it's able to help you create a brand voice for your organization. Is your brand voice playful? Is your brand voice corporate? It's able to do all of that and automate it such that when you're doing a Twitter post, a YouTube caption, when you're doing a speech for your CEO, it's able to generate something that aligns with your brand values. We also have Anaplan in finance that helps with financial planning and scenario modeling. In human resource, if you're recruiting a lot of people, you want to use multiple channels, whether it is SMS, WhatsApp, or email, to engage with candidates on a conversational basis. The traditional way of engaging with candidates on email is very old school. You want to use friendly channels that candidates are used to, such as email, WhatsApp, USSD, and they're able to send their applications, and then a system automates that conversation in terms of giving them feedback on the application, telling them whether they were hired or not, and also handling the onboarding process. Then for admin and strategy, I'm sure you have joined online meetings and you see there's another person in the meeting, but it's not a person, it's a note taker application. And in some instances, it tells you that I have joined as part of the meeting. I'm representing Alfred or Eunice. I'll be taking notes on behalf of Eunice. At the end of the meeting, it sends you a summary of all the things that were discussed. And it even outlines the action points. Who was supposed to send up a follow email, who was supposed to send a proposal, and so on. So one platform is Otter.ai, but we also have the FireNote application. Then there's this common narrative and quote that goes around that says that AI won't replace you, but the person or the business that is using it are the people who will actually replace you. And this is actually true. With automation and general purpose technologies across the years, we moved away from having telephone routers where you had humans who would check, okay, this person is calling from Nairobi to Kisumu, and they would literally pull out a connector and look for the actual number where the other person from Kisumu is calling, and then manually connect it. So those people were actually replaced by technology, but that didn't mean that they now didn't have a job to do. They had to learn new skills and now move on to another skill set. So in the modern day, it's very important for you to have both soft skills and hard skills that make you to be future ready in the modern AI age. These are some of them. You have to be digitally literate. You need to know how to use a computer. You need to know how to open up an email, read an email. You also need to have basic data analysis and reporting. If you're given data in Excel format, are you able to provide a summary out of that? It's also very important to have emotional resilience and adaptability. You should be able to adapt to different emotional scenarios. You should be able to easily collaborate with other disciplines. So if you're in legal, can you understand a bit of what marketing is saying? Can you understand what IT is saying? Can you understand what the business team is saying? You also need to have very good ethical decision making, because if you don't have ethical decision making skills, then how will you know when the AI is making a wrong decision? Creative and strategic thinking is very, very important, and also emotional intelligence and critical thinking. Approach as you look at how you adopt AI, and some of you might be in different stages of this implementation roadmap. So the first phase is the assessment phase, where you identify the current technological capabilities of the tool that you want to use, and then you need to identify potential AI use cases. Then from there, you need to do a pilot. Never go full blown and just decide to use a tool, yet you have not tested it in a low risk environment. So you need to segregate, have a trial account, test it out, and also you need to develop measurement frameworks. If you're in marketing and you're looking at copywriting, how do you measure that this tool is very good at copywriting? In legal, how do you measure that this tool is actually very good in understanding legal laws? Then lastly, in the scale phase, you now expand this whole pilot project, and you continuously refine, and you ensure that you include humans in the loop. But as you do this, you also need to have risk mitigation strategies. First one is you always have to have a human in the loop, human oversight. As you're doing the pilot phase, you need to have a human who will determine, is this AI or is this tool actually delivering the right decisions or delivering the task the way it's supposed to be delivered. You also need to have very robust testing protocol. You need to simulate multiple scenarios. Always go with the worst case scenario when you're testing this tool. So let's say if you've built a chatbot that is doing customer support, and you are a company that is offering insurance or credit, you need to have a way of guiding the chatbot to respond to the user if the user asks about a completely different industry. So if you're in insurance and a user is asking about education or software development, the chatbot needs to know how to respond to such queries in a way that the customer understands. Then you need to have fallback mechanisms. In case the AI workflow does not work, how do you quickly switch back and roll back to a human workforce in your entire process? Then lastly, of course, you need to ensure regulatory compliance. You need to constantly monitor the data protection laws. Is there any regulation in your particular industry that touches on automation? So at the end of the day, you won't ultimately have an AI regulation, but you need to check the regulation in the industry you're operating in. If you are operating in the education industry, what does the regulation say when it comes to automation? What does the regulation say when it comes to how you collect and process user data? If you're in the transport industry, what does NTSA says when it comes to use of technology in certain processes? So ultimately, with time and in our industry, we won't have an AI specific regulation, but we need to check the regulation in our different industries and make sure that the automated technologies that we are using conform to what has been prescribed. So as I round up, I'd encourage you to don't walk alone in the AI journey. The technology is rapidly evolving on a daily rate. So you need a strategic navigator who will walk the journey with you, and you need to upskill yourself as much as possible constantly. I'd say at least every quarter, take a course that updates you on the latest trends in AI in your industry. And that's why we are here today, courtesy of Regenesis, because they're trying to fill in this gap. And at AI Kenya, we provide different services. We help you to define an AI strategy and roadmap, depending on where you are in that roadmap, whether you're starting, whether you're already using AI tools. We work on taking you and advancing you to the next stage. We also conduct readiness assessment, how ready is the organization in terms of AI. And then if you need very niche bespoke products, we're also able to offer that. And because you are part of this conference today, we'll offer a 30% discount on the first engagement to you as clients. These are my contact details. You can either send us an email at grow@kenya.ai, or you can also connect on LinkedIn, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Using AI like 3 to 4 times a year. That's what you mentioned. Quarterly. So what courses do you have that someone like me can take?
Thank you. For the industry you're talking about, such as autism, I've interacted with multiple people who have been trying to create technologies that can typically address the condition of autism, particularly when it comes to communication, right? Because I understand autistic people have that challenge of communicating. So there are a couple of solutions that have been created, so, whether it is smartphone applications or dedicated hardware devices that they can walk around with to help them in whatever they are doing. So I can share those with you after the keynote. In terms of courses we provide, we provide bespoke trainings and courses based on the particular industry you are in. So we have a generic, and we've been running trainings over the past 7 years for different audiences. So at the end of the day, it's a matter of sitting down, understanding your industry, and then offering something bespoke to that. But I'd also want to encourage you to also sign up to the course from Digital Genesis, so that you have a very good foundation. And then from there, if you want to really specialize, you can also explore. Yeah.
Any other question?
Good morning, and thank you for this session today. My name is Eugene Busolo. I'm here in 2 capacities. So allow me to ask this question in one of the capacities. The second one, I'll be talking about it later. Is there any chance of integration of AI in agriculture?
Yes, there is. So for agriculture, you can look at it from multiple perspectives, both software and hardware. There are agricultural solutions that are able to automatically detect weed. So you have robots that can automatically detect weeds and remove the weed from where you've planted it. And this is mostly in greenhouse or very controlled farming environments. You have other solutions that are able to, monitor an industry such as horticulture, and it is able to detect which flowers are ready, which fruits are ripe, and it is able to go there specifically and pluck it out. And then, of course, the agriculture value chain has been automated. So you have many agricultural marketplaces where they are powered by recommendation engines, where if they learn that you normally the odds of tomatoes and bread and all these things during this particular time of the week, it's also able to recommend other goods based on what you're shopping on. Then there's also the aspect of analyzing satellite imagery to identify which areas you can plant different crops based on the conditions that these crops thrive in. And then there's also the aspect of credit scoring for farmers. So most farmers might not be having a bank account, but they have other forms of financial capability. So there are organizations that create alternative financial capabilities, and they're able to use those financial capabilities to give out loans, not only in cash, but also in terms of agricultural, materials such as seeds that they can now then plant, and then within time, after they get their produce, they're able to pay back. So agriculture, I'd say, is one of the largest industries that is benefiting from the technology. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hello, good morning. My name is Rosemary from LX Products. We are a detergent manufacturing company based in Nairobi. I have 2 questions. So where I work, I sit at operations desk, but I also do sales and marketing. So my two questions are, on the first one, we have spoken about the use of AI. And from where I sit, I have teams that you give them roles or duties to perform. But then how do you regulate the use of AI so that people are not just going online, photocopying, copy pasting things, but there's no that customization of the information. So how can I regulate the use of AI in the organization from the teams? And the second one is I've interacted with different companies. You go online, you inbox them, and then they have the WhatsApp chatbot. So how can I implement the same so that when our customers are going to our website to shop for our products, they have that AI assistance on which are the best products to shop. And if they want to ask further questions, maybe on WhatsApp, then the AI on the WhatsApp chatbot is there. How can we go about it? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Those are very good questions. The first one on how do you control use of AI in the organization? So you need to start from a point of having a stand on use of artificial intelligence in the organization. So the management needs to understand how can this technology be used across our business and where does the risk lie in case there's misuse of the technology. In cases where, let's say, you miss human oversight and you lose lots of money at the organization, what are those scenarios and how do you control them? So I'd say the first thing is having a guiding principle or taking a stand on whether you encourage your organization to use AI or not. But what I want to tell you is most of employees in this current day and age, the smart ones, they're already using these tools. They might not let you know. It's a concept called shadow AI, where in your organization, you have not formally rubber stamped and say you can use this tool, but people are already using them anyway. And some risks or some problems might be happening in the background that you are not aware about. So you need to have a stand, have a strategy, and then communicate that strategy to your organization. Run the exercise like what we've run today. You need to know how many observers do you have, how many maximalists do you have, and how do you clear the doubts around the use of technology. The biggest challenge would be the perception by most of your organization members that this technology is going to replace them. Yet on the other side, this technology is actually making them more productive. And now they have more time at the end of the day to be more creative and come up with more concepts that can help the organization. And then the second question was around how you can use AI in marketing. There are so many use cases, from copywriting. How do you communicate in a language that your audience understands? You might be limited by budget such that you are not able to hire a top industry grade copywriter to write copyright for your advertisements or your social media. What you can do, you can get a consultant, write a very good copywriting guidebook for you, and then you feed that into the AI system. And now that becomes your template and your foundation, all your marketing, communicating materials. And you can use that to get marketing ideas. You can also use that to generate images like what I've shown you for your brand. And then you can also, in some cases, work on generative videos. And I just want to show you one. So I don't know if the audio will pick, but I will just use your mic. And I would want to ask, before this particular keynote that I've given, would you be able to know that this particular video is AI generated? So let me play. Okay. Just a minute. Yeah. So if you interact with such an ad, you can't know whether it's a real human or not. So instead of dealing with crazy budgets of hiring influencers and negotiating, you can do a proof of concept of like this and just launch it. The platform is called Agen.com. Yeah. So there are many things you can do with this. Let me Agen. Heygen. 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 Heygen.com. It's a video generative AI platform. Yeah, but as you use these tools, you need to be cautious and aware of your audience. So we have cases, especially in the US, where a very powerful brand that is looked to by creatives who are artists, video editors, and photographers, they release AI generated content. So in this particular case, I'd say that the small brands sort of have a lot more sort of safety playground, but the big brands, you really need to be cautious. If you do it in a very lazy way, people will be automatically be able to tell that this is AI generated content. So you really need to put in the effort to make sure that the output is really seamless, such that the customer does not identify that this is AI generated content, and that is what they focus on. I think Safaricom and a couple of other brands have been doing a lot of heavy AI generated content. In some cases, you will know. In some cases, you wouldn't know. At the end of the day, you just care about when you look at the proposition, does it speak to you or not? Whether it's a cartoon, whether it's a real human, it doesn't really matter. So you just need to be very cautious. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bwana Alfred Ongere. That was very insightful. A question? Yes. Yes. This is the last question.
So my name is Ivana. I'm a corporate trainer and a personal branding coach. Now, just because of what you said at the end, that the customers will know. So basically, we don't want them to know. You know, so I'm just thinking, we're using AI. We don't want them to know it's AI. So is it even morally upright? Is it legal? Now that we want to use it, but we don't want the customer to know. We want to make sure that we conceal it in a way that they don't know that it's AI. What's that about? That's very confusing.
So what I said was you need to understand your audience. The audience that you are speaking to, it might be the wider public, it might be Kenyans on Twitter, it might be a normal farmer in the village, it might be your grandmother. So in particular cases, based on how much effort you put into generating the content you're generating, some people will decide to scrutinize and see, okay, we are not really feeling what these people have put out. They didn't even put a lot of effort into producing this final communication piece. So if you're a large brand, the perception from the wider public is you have huge budgets and you can pay an influencer, you can pay Njugush, you can pay Asiat, as opposed to going and spending millions to generate AI content. In some cases, you can augment it with the influencers so that it comes out more powerfully. But in other cases, if you're a really big brand and you just decide to do a standalone AI generated campaign and you don't really do it very well, then the public will give you a bit of backlash. But the people giving you backlash are the really smart people in the room who are able to tell, you used Canva or you used this particular tool just for this particular campaign you're doing. So that's why I said for the small brands, they can take much more risk with that, because at the end of the day, most consumers don't really know them that much to really critique them on the marketing budgets they have at the end of the day. So you can do both, but at the end of the day, make sure you do it well. You can do a very simple cartoon that speaks very powerfully, such that the campaign it overpowers the graphics you've used. And then you'll have other campaigns where the graphic is overpowering everything else that you're using. There was this campaign by, it's not Super Bright. It's a company that makes this, the scrubbing material for dishes. And in the image, they had a man who was in bed and he was running. It was like the man was caught cheating. And it was sort of an animation. They didn't necessarily use AI, but they faced a very big backlash that they were using the aspect of Mpango Wakando to really associate their brand. So at the end of the day, the brand spread so fast, people knew about this brand, but it was quickly pulled down because the who is who in the advertising industry had to, or in the marketing industry, had to tell them to pull down and do another campaign. So at the end of the day, you really need to be cautious and make sure that you understand your audience before you release such a material. And at the end of the day, you might just be experimenting. So you need to be ready for what comes out. Yeah. Does that answer the question? Or is it more confusing?
There's a lot of questions, but for now I'll take that. Thank you.
And then be another panel discussion. So I also think they'll cover some of these things. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Alfred. We will defer the questions to later for purposes of time. I'm about to call very interesting people on stage, but before I do that, we have to acknowledge our partners in the house. So when I mention them, will you be kind enough to give them a round of applause? So this gathering has been made possible, of course, by yourselves for making time, for putting aside your resources to pay. And we also have gotten some support from Mwananchi Credit. They are at the back there. So if you need any services from their desk, feel free to reach out to them. We have support from HF Group. Thank you so much, Bwana Busolo. When you go back, pass our warm regards to Mr. Kibara. We have support from Ronald's LLP. Thank you very much. I saw Ronald in the house. Support from ICA Lion Group. And lastly, to the esteemed persons seated in front of me, a very big round of applause for yourselves. You have put in time, you've put in resources, we really appreciate. So we are switching gears to panel discussion. We have a very rich panel, a good mix of both genders, and in the spirit of getting a perfect mix, like Alfred alluded to, do you use AI generated 100%? Do you use real influencers? We will have a good mix for a very good conversation. I shall them to the stage. I would like them to take their seats from my far left. And lastly, I will introduce to you who my captain is. I promised I'll introduce to you who my captain is, so that you actually believe that I'm an errand boy. Okay, so the gentleman I'm about to call on the stage is the founder and CEO of John Digital Solutions Limited, who has more than 10 years of experience in digital marketing, specializes in creating digital strategies that deliver real results. He's a strong believer in the power of AI, and on top of it, he's a mentor and author of the AI Blast Digital Marketing Strategy Toolkit version 2.0. He'll tell us more about what that toolkit does, perhaps still in the digital strategies and digital marketing space. Ladies and gentlemen, your hands together for John Maina Mwangi, aka John Digital. I'm about to usher in a very powerful lady on the stage. She is a knowledge monetization coach and an AI strategist. Her interests in digital business transformation and people management. On top of being a coach, she regards herself highly, and industry regards her highly, about turning knowledge into profitable business models, helping professionals just like you and I to package their expertise into digital offerings. For example, courses, AI-based coaching. Coach, you will tell us what this AI-based coaching is, and scalable platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, your hands together for Madam Betty Mwaura. This gentleman is a distinguished corporate leader and a managing partner at Ronald's LLP, specializing in audit and advisory across the East African region, with over a decade of extensive experience in financial audits, taxation, and business strategy. So business owners here struggling with taxation, kindly, this should be your friend. He leads a team of over 150 professionals across that region that I mentioned, East Africa, recognized as top 40 under 40 in 2021, and is passionate about integrating AI into business operations. Ladies and gentlemen, your hands together for Mr. Ronald Bosi. This lady is a business engineer with a background in machine learning, engineering, and business. She is currently managing operations at Neural Labs Africa, and they're known for impacting healthcare using AI to ease the underserviced healthcare system and sector in Africa. She boasts invaluable experience at a time at Africa Blockchain Center. She was also a technical expert at Regulatory Sandbox of Capital Markets Authority. She's a strong believer that emerging technologies and deep tech, she'll tell us what this deep tech means, can revolutionize economies. Ladies and gentlemen, your hands together for Mukiri Mwirigi. Did I match the genders correctly? You will tell me after I'm done. Okay. This gentleman is passionate about digital content creation, web design, and she's a skills advocate. He's a skills advocate, sorry. You must have seen him on his handles engaging particularly young people to make good use of themselves, to stand up, to be counted, to add value to themselves. He's dedicated his life to empowering individuals, especially the youth, to embrace personal development, acquire personal skills, and transform life in this digital era. The online presence is 700,000 followers and growing, and this is a tool and a platform that he actually uses to pass his message of empowerment, pass his message of encouragement, and sharpening the youth. Ladies and gentlemen, your hands together for Mr. Elvis Warutumo. I had to make sure that my captain comes last, lest I walk back home. The lady I'm about to call on stage is a seasoned business consultant and founder of Africa Resource Connect. What does she do? Very simple. She's focused on supporting female founders and SMEs to navigate business challenges, secure funding, and scale sustainably. She has over 8 years in business advisory. As a business growth navigator, she helps businesses to craft strategies that drive growth that is aligned to their vision. No, you could grow abnormally as well, but growth that is aligned to your vision. In this session, my captain brings her expertise in facilitating dynamic conversations, especially in this very pertinent tool, which can either be an enabler if you are a maximalist, or a disabler if you are a rebel. And I wish Alfred could show us the final tally of that poll. Anyway, we'll revisit it later. So she's interested in this new reality of AI for business expansion and opportunities for growth. This is what she brings to the table. Ladies and gentlemen, hands together for our moderator for this panel session, Madam Branis Mayenga.
Good morning, everybody. I want to first start by welcoming each and every one of you to this event. This is the Icons of Power Breakfast. My name is Branis Mayenga, and I'll be moderating this session. Very good to have the panelists here with me. And I want you to really just open up your mind to this oxymoron that we call AI. I was actually watching something yesterday and I realized that AI did not just start recently. It started in the 90s. And we've been using Google as a search engine. But when ChatGPT came, now all of a sudden we're trying to play on stealth mode. But I really want us to embrace ChatGPT and many other what it is we're going to hear on the stage today. I really want us to open up our minds and to embrace that, and especially for the corporates and the business people, because this conversation of us being left behind is not our portion, yeah? So I want to start by first asking how many of us really understand what AI is? In whatever way, the little, the much, the nothing, just put up your hand so that we're able to see. Okay, so thank you so much for that openness. Openness is going to be very important. And I want you to look at the panelists as people who are going to simplify this conversation. So with the panelists that I have here, obviously you already had an introduction, but I quickly, in just 1 minute, want each of you to tell us what exactly you would want the audience to understand about your role. I know this was not part of the session, but I really want you to put them at ease in terms of what is it that you want them to understand from your perspective in your role. So let me start with you, John.
Good morning. Thank you, Branis, for that. My name is John Mwangi, also known as John Digital, because from way back, since I started learning about website development, I became so passionate that the people around me just call me John Digital, because every time my conversation is around digital. So my role here, simply, Bernice, I could say, because we have quite a rich panel, I'll just say I would like for you to understand on how to use these AI tools correctly. Thank you.
All right, Betty.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Betty Maura. People call me Coach Betty. I think I'm the sister and the brother you are looking for, because I think I'm the non-techie among all of us. I didn't go to school to do development. I'm not, I'm not what he is. I am not Alfred. And I'm not an AI strategist. I'm an AI enthusiast. You understand? Which is what probably we all should be, those of us who are not very, very techy. However,
AI will not spare any one of us, whether you went to school to do developing, you are a techie guy or not. So my bit is to help us, those who are not very techie, understand it at its very granular level. And I don't work with the big industries. I work with people who are interested in the creator economy, the people who want to use their knowledge to create something for themselves, something amazing, something big. So that's what I do, and that's what I would like most of us to take. So don't be afraid and say, oh, you know, these techie people like this, Kina Sharon, we all are in this space and we'll figure it out together, isn't it? We didn't know mobile phones, we didn't know, isn't it? But nowadays, grandmas are on TikTok until morning. They did not tap. Now they know. We will figure it out together. That's my bit. Thank you. Ronald?
Morning. My name is Ronald Bosi. For me, I'm coming from the financial space, financial management space. And you know, most of the things we do in our business, in our lives, is about making money. And money is important. So most often when you're talking about money and AI, how can it increase the money that I have or the money that I make? So for me, coming from an audit, tax, and accounting space is how do you leverage AI to actually increase your top line or your bottom line in terms of revenue, profitability, manage risks, especially in terms of financial perspective, so that your organization grows and expands for posterity. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Mikiri Mirigi. My background is in business engineering, which is a convergence between technology and business. And I come from the startup ecosystem where we're trying to build a ton of different products to address our problems within Kenya. And my passion is generally Africa. How can we not be left behind this time? How can we leverage the technology now we're at the precipice of doing so much to ensure that Africa is not left behind and that we build products that actually communicate the problems that we have instead of continually customizing from other regions. That is my passion, and I hope today that becomes your passion too. Thank you. This.
Good morning, everyone. Normally, I have a problem introducing myself in corporate events because I don't know whether to call myself a content creator, graphic designer, web designer. But Nairobi has taught me that I can actually make money from all of that. So whichever goes right with you is how. I'd just like to say that artificial intelligence and what I'm really hoping for you guys to learn is how you can apply it.
Okay, so thank you. We've heard that you can actually use artificial intelligence in marketing. You can use it to pivot and scale. You can use it in audits and taxation. You can use it in the healthcare sector, managing your teams, and many more. So I'm going to start quickly on to the questions. And my first question is going to be to you, John Digital. Let's talk about the importance of AI in modern marketing, because many organizations need marketing. Where does AI come in this? So how is AI transforming the way businesses are reaching and engaging with their clients or their customers?
Wonderful question. And the reason as to why John Digital, we positioned ourselves in marketing is simply because that's where the rubber meets the road. And AI, we used to say internet was a great equalizer because now the opportunities are global. But now with the introduction of AI, and that's why some of people are really afraid of it, it's because the power has now been more than leveled. Because you can use AI to generate really, really targeted messaging for your target audience. AI, you can use it to analyze large data sets, even from your competitors, feed it in and generate something for yourself. Why am I calling it as equalizers? Because now, even small businesses, it does not matter the size of your business. For example, something like the GPT-4 goes only for $20. And you can conjure this to become your expert through prompt engineering or things like take a role. Assume you are a seasoned marketer for 20 years, and ChatGPT will gladly do that and give you a strategy that maybe IBM is using right now. So this is quite a good time to adapt AI, regardless of the size of your business. So how they're using it in modern marketing is, for me, I'm seeing that the opportunity has been leveled. The play field has been leveled, and you can get any expert you'd like for as low as $20.
Okay, so you see how we're simplifying this conversation. Stop thinking that your business is too small. Your business is going to grow to the level of your thoughts. Betty Moura, you're going to be talking about artificial intelligence for business and opportunities. Now, tell us, what are some of the simple AI-based business ideas that someone can start today? A small business, a business that has been around, what are some of the smallest ideas that they can start and leverage on AI?
Thank you so much, Brannis. I want to answer that question with a testimonial from a client of mine. Maybe they're here, maybe they're not. About 2 months ago, we ran a webinar, an online seminar. A lady attended, and in that webinar, we taught them how to use very simple AI to make new money. New money, create new money from wherever. So one of the things she caught in a free class is that she could use Canva to create something and sell it. So I just said in passing that some of you are sitting on your potential, yet you have a good computer, you have a good phone. And you can actually go learn Canva. It's very easy to use, and now it's very, very AI enhanced. And make a template. I just made a joke and said, sell that template for $27, and ensure you find just 5 clients per day for it. So she took me at my word. She went and asked me later, texted me and asked me, Coach Betty, would you be having a course on Canva? I told her I have a small course somewhere done. I can give it to you. So I gave her that course for free. She went through the course, learned Canva on her own, or through the course, but then went deep to learn a few more other things about Canva. Then she designed a template. She's in tax and financial space. So she designed a template for people who are in that space and personalized it to her own people who would want to buy from her. So she called me to tell me, now it's ready. Can I send it to you? You see? I told her, no, just do it. Go. Do you like it? I like it. I told her, you have a community you've built? She said, no. I told her, use your social media space to ask who would want a template that could guide them on 1, 2, 3 things. And I told her, tell them to join your WhatsApp group. So create a WhatsApp group. So they joined her WhatsApp group. So inside the WhatsApp group, she kept teaching them few free things. Then after 1 week, she asked them who would want a paid thing that is more detailed, like a master class. And they said, we want. So that she sold 3 in 1 day, and she called me in a lot of excitement. She said, I've made money from my brain. And I told her, do you think it's working? She said, yes, it's working. I told her, double down on that. That's what is working, double down on that. Don't keep worrying about very big words in AI, very big machine learning, because you can't understand that. That's not who you are. So simple tools that we can use to, to make money, to make our lives easier. And so another tool that she used was ChatGPT to just try and do the right, have a good flow, check out what the market is looking for, and use a little bit of it to write. But I told her the effort from your end is how to make that template look like you and the one that your kind of people would want to buy. So it's easy that way. So the other day, And we left that conversation. I see her telling me now I have an online class that I've created. I've given people Zoom details. They are paying me 2,000 per person to attend, and I have 36 students. I say, go do it, go double down, do it, become better at it, then go learn another tool. So I think our problem is sometimes we overthink this AI animal. It's huge, by the way, but also at your own personal space, is where you can plug in. Find out where is that I can plug in at my personal, at my level, where is it that I can plug in? So that's one of the ways you can.
Thank you so much. So let us move away from what a friend of mine likes calling paralysis analysis. We overanalyze, we want to be perfect. Start small, start with what you have. Now, Ronald, for you, when people see you on stage and they're seeing Ronald's LLC, tax, audits, AI, social media, it seems a lot. Now, you have engaged across East Africa, so you're actually bringing in experience from different thought processes, and you've engaged with different personalities. What do you think the region has effectively integrated AI into its business operations?
Maybe before I comment is first demystify who Ronald's LLP is. We're not an ordinary audit firm, because most people, when they think about audit, they think about compliance. For us, we have dismantled the big picture. We look at how can businesses leverage and revolutionize their business by being more forward-looking in terms of strategy, in terms of structures, processes, and grow and expand, not only in Kenya, but also region-wise. The problem is when most companies have that kind of traditional audit and then they remain small for a very long time. We want an audit that can be able to help you see the opportunities across the East African region. That's why, as a practice, we're establishing here in Kenya, in Uganda, in Rwanda, in Tanzania. And of course, when you think about AI, it's always tempting to think about it as very complex technologies that has no place in your business. But AI, from the basic concept of even accounting for your income, for your expenses, determining your profitability is applicable. Unfortunately, in South Africa, there's been a very slow in terms of integrating AI in business. Of course, people use AI either consciously or subconsciously, because things like Google Maps are all integrated with the AI and almost used on a daily basis. But when it comes to integrating AI in our business and optimizing it, in South Africa, there's been a very slow uptake, especially at business level, because you find that if you want to think about AI, don't think about the complex aspect of it is in terms of robotics and all that, but thinking about even do you have a basic accounting system for your organization that can be able to predict in terms of your profitability, your demand, your sales volumes, and help you to manage even your stock levels in the organization, because most people just buy and sell without knowing how much is the optimal stock that I can hold in your business. So yes, AI has a very rich, it has had a very good reach in South Africa, but the biggest problem we have is how have we integrated it in our organizations. Like in practice, we have, initially we used to do very traditional audits whereby we have manual ticking and all that. Today, with AI, if you give me 1 million transactions, with a very good creative mind, I'm able to design and know which transactions are fraudulent. I'm able to pick that. We use an application called Gemini, which is a very powerful AI. I'm able to infer critical conclusions from a huge volume of transactions and data. So yes, AI has a good reach in South Africa, but the biggest problem, and maybe answering your question, is how have we integrated it in your business and embraced it so that we're able to make money from the AI.
Thank you so much. Now, I just want to touch a little bit on that because, like, when I was being introduced, you mentioned that I'm very passionate about supporting businesses to scale. Thinking of even scaling, let's just say you want to move your business from Nairobi and go to Mombasa. That is already movement. But it's very important and critical for you to have some of these processes set up in your business from the word go, because sometimes it's not just about pivoting and scaling. It's also about you attracting partners or investors or funders who would like to support your business. Now, if you don't have some of these systems integrated into your business, you're going to be caught with your pants down. And I think for businesses, you really don't have to start it so big, but at least have your basic accounting system. Talk to some of the experts who can help you to set up your business structures properly. So that when you come and say, okay, we'd like you to help our business move to the next level, we're actually checking out the boxes and saying, there's so many things that you already have in place. Can we bring in an expert to help you with this? So integrating systems into your business is very crucial, not just for scaling, but also for preparing you or anyone who would be interested in coming to partner or work with you. Thank you so much, Ronald, for that. We will definitely come into more questions that are a bit more complicated when it comes to that space. I'd also now want to take a moment to speak to Mukiri. And I remember when you walked in, Mukiri, I walked up to you and I told you I'm very fascinated with what it is you're doing, because when I read your bio, it looked like it is so much, like you've amassed so much information, experience, you have so much expertise. But I remember you just laughing it off and telling me, you know what, it's very simple. And that's why I was really excited about the panel that's here, because they have a way of simplifying whatever looks so complex in their bio, so that we're able to look at it and see it as something very realistic for us as the people who want to adopt some of these technologies. So Mukiri, you're talking about leveraging AI for profit maximization, and you're also talking about business models. I know many businesses depend on one model for them to generate income, but we are seeing that with AI and the digital space, you're able to look at many other ways of bringing in money into the business. Now, my question to you is going to be this. How can small businesses start using artificial intelligence today to increase profit, to increase their profits?
Right. I think pretty much everyone has touched on that actually, but I want to reverberate something Kaifuli says. He says that AI is going to create efficient services that free up our most valuable resource, which is time. So the easiest way for businesses to actually enter into the artificial intelligence space and to leverage the technology is efficiencies. Think about it in this way. How do you inject efficiencies at every point? How you do your processes, how you do your manufacturing, if you're doing manufacturing, how essentially in terms of staffing, the things that you do, what can you leverage in those different points and processes that you have within your business? And one of the critical things that a business has to think about first is your priority. You have to think about it from the perspective of, if I'm maximizing profit, what am I doing? Maybe I'm cutting on costs. Maybe I'm reducing the resources that I have. Maybe I'm reducing the points of failure. And that is where now you need to start looking at the tools that you can leverage for artificial intelligence. If there are any open source tools that you can use, then you do that. If you need to build out something simple to address that, you do that. But essentially, you don't have to think about it in a very complex way as maybe building out an entire platform of AI at this particular point in time. There is so much that we can leverage. And as I think different people have spoken and mentioned, you just need to keep your eyes open and to think about it in a much simplistic term. Where do I start and what do I do? Yes.
Okay, so we're maximizing on our profits. We need to look at what is the simple thing that I need to do so that I can actually not waste too much time. So AI can actually help us to be more efficient. And I think, Mukiri, correct me if I'm wrong, would this be talking about, for me as a founder or the CEO of my organization, would it be like pushing some of these roles and responsibilities to other people so that I can then now focus on what is most important for the business?
Yes. So even in terms of the teams, we talked about different products for video generation. Imagine if you have to hire an entire to come and do a simple video for your marketing. It takes days, it takes planning. Yet you can quickly hook up the video and use it to get there faster. I do believe that there's need for you to have some nuance and objectivity in what you're doing. You need to have very clear goals in how you use AI so that you don't also lose your brand equity and your own status as a brand. But there's so many different ways you can leverage. Let me give you an example. TikTok as a company has less than 50 employees, and we have traditional brands having over 53,000 employees. Think about it in such a way. How can you maximize in the processes? How can you minimize in the processes? And then eventually have very lean and efficient systems in your company. That's one of the easiest ways to maximize your profits.
All right, thank you so much. And I hope that you're listening to every panelist so that you're picking up on where it is you need to plug in, where you need to position, what kind of questions you need to ask them, so that you're actually going to demystify a lot of perceptions that you had about AI in different sectors. I recently got onto LinkedIn, and let me tell you, LinkedIn is a whole new ball game. I mean, I would post something on Facebook and I would get all the comments, and I would feel like, yeah, I have a group, I have a community that I have built that really understands me and we engage. Then I got onto this space called LinkedIn, and I met Elvis Warutumo. Elvis, you make LinkedIn sound and look so simple. I don't know if it's the way you look. I don't know if it's the way you talk. I don't know if it's the places that you take your photos. Sometimes it's in your car, it's in a coffee shop. For me, everything was very formal and professional, and my words, I made sure that my I's were dotted and the commas until I came across you. So first and foremost, I'm really humbled to be interviewing you on this panel because I'm a great fan of yours. But I'd want you to just, because you're going to be talking about application of AI by entrepreneurs. And there's a good number of entrepreneurs sitting here. Some are probably in corporate and thinking of even transitioning into running their own businesses. I want you to touch on this. How can entrepreneurs use artificial intelligence to streamline their daily operations? They're running a business. How do they need to streamline that using artificial intelligence?
Thank you for our question. Well, I'll take you back to the part on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a platform that probably most people think is very hard and not so easy to maneuver. I joined LinkedIn last year in August. I've only been there for just 1 year and a few months, and I've been able to amass 64,000 followers. So I'm going to ask you a question. You're here in the event. How many posts have you done today?
One.
Yes. So I've already done 2. And actually, when the keynote speaker actually did a speech immediately, by the time he was sitting down, I had already done a post. And that post has been shared across all my platforms. And how have I been able to achieve that? As an entrepreneur, you want to automate what we refer to as repetitive tasks. A repetitive task could be something like content creation. Just when I was sitting up there, I've been able to share with you 7 posts on Facebook, on my Facebook page, by just utilizing artificial intelligence and what I actually talk about. So what you do is you just need to understand how to use the right prompts. It is not so hard. And one other thing that I've also come to learn is that when it comes to some of these repetitive tasks, you can utilize artificial intelligence to understand what is it that people are looking for. Most of the time, people complicate LinkedIn and think that it's something you need to pick, having very good photos, and no, people value authenticity. Authenticity is very simple for you as an entrepreneur. I can just take a selfie over here and just say that I'm having these panelists, and I go to ChatGPT or any other artificial intelligence program and just be very specific and say that, create a post for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to ask you a question. How many people know an app called Google Keep Notes? It's actually in all Android phones. I want you to try this at the end of this particular session. I want you to take Google Keep Notes and speak to it. What do I mean by speak to it? Create notes. Talk about what you've done today. There's something I recently learned. It's basically having a highlight of your day. What is a highlight of your day? The highlight of your day is what you've really gotten to learn today. After you've given that highlight of your day on, as you use Google Keep Notes, take the same text, and actually, right now you can speak to your phone, right? And you can transcribe that. There's an AI called Otter AI. How many people know that? Speak to your phone, create a voice note, you transfer the same voice note on Otter AI as an entrepreneur. and just share like 3 minutes of you ranting. Just rant anything. Say what you learned today. And then take that transcript that you've learned that you've gotten from Otter AI and take it to ChatGPT. Most of you guys can afford ChatGPT which is $20. That transcript itself can give you like 15 posts in an entire day. Someone was asking me, how do you do 10 videos on TikTok, 15 videos on Instagram, 20 videos on Facebook? You have a YouTube video, you have a podcast. It's AI. And you can streamline your processes by just making these repetitive tasks very simple and very easy to do. AI. Putting a team of 50 individuals, you just need to understand how to use AI. And you see, AI with human intelligence is magic.
A round of applause for all the panelists. Are we learning? Yes. But there's something that I still am going to say on behalf of the audience. It looks like it's moving very fast. I know there's a lot that we are grasping, but please don't think that you need to do this on your own. Even as they're telling you about it, you can speak to your phone. Please ask Elvis, show me how to do it. Yeah? It's not as simple as we think it is. Trust you me, I have a Gen Z who's helping me with my LinkedIn. And yeah, I am still, they call it flabbergasted. You remember that word? Now, I know you've said something about you can pay some $20. We have been using ChatGPT for free. There's another one that you can pay for.
There's a ChatGPT version called ChatGPT 4.
Are we paying for it? Okay, let me ask the question again. How many of us are using the free version? Okay, we definitely need help.
The reason I'm saying you pay for the ChatGPT 4 is the moment you normalize using free versions of artificial intelligence, it keeps you on a loop. Like you're going to look for all these artificial intelligence programs, and you're always looking for the free version. Now, for me, I look at it in terms of an investment perspective. What is the return on investment from buying that? On a monthly basis, I normally pay close to $200 for AI. That's not the only one I use. I have used AI for digital marketing. Like over the past 1 year, we've been trying to refine our digital marketing services. And mostly it's on content strategy. Normally, writing an article or a blog is supposed to take any normal human being like 1 hour. But for me, within 1 hour, I can do like 20 of them using artificial intelligence. And you see, it's going to translate what the client is looking for, and they're going to get value. Now, a brief example would be writing blogs. Right now, if you went and searched for garage in Nairobi, there's a client we've been working with for 3 months, and using artificial intelligence, data analysis, and everything, tracking keywords, we've used artificial intelligence for that. The client has been able to rank to around the first page, like at number 3. It's very, the garage is Automotive Dr. Motor Garage Limited, and it's in Karen. So over 3 months, we've been trying to use artificial intelligence, paying for these particular programs to actually get to use this. Now you can imagine, I use $200 and I can use all these programs for my clients. If these clients were able to pay $2,000, that's a good return on investment, right? So you take that perspective, or you're using AI as a tool that allows you to scale operations, work efficiently and easy. Like if I had a content creator who is helping me with blog writing, if they fail to do their job, don't worry about them. I'll just go ahead and do it. And then tomorrow I fire you. You see, that's really understanding how you can actually inculcate it in your business. But at the same time, don't take it on a free basis. As Kenyans, we normalize the aspect of using the free version such that we lack the ability to use AI in the proper way. So think about that, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so he's talked about if he found people who are not able to do what he wants, he'd fire them. John, is this, for me, this is looking like a threat to agencies, because we pay so much money to agencies for them to think. They have a creative department. They're coming up with very good marketing posts and billboards and everything. Talk to us a little bit about organizations that feel the need to always work with companies that they believe will give them the expected result, is it always the avenue or the angle that we need to use to go to agencies for them to give us out of the box thinking kind of marketing concepts?
Yes, it is important that you engage professionals, even if you have the artificial intelligence. And you have actually to understand the basics of what you're dealing with. That has been my learning philosophy, because I always go back to basics. I've gotten a lot of Kenyans who think they know, but they actually don't. They just, what you saw on social media as a post, you're echoing that as a repeater, but you actually did not even take the time to just learn the basics of the thing. As your colleague just comes and tells you, well, do you ChatGPT? ChatGPT? You don't want to look like you don't know. So you just go with the flow. ChatGPT, I also use that ChatGPT. And you just take it casually, and you don't take the time to go back and learn the basics. So for me, normally, like all the platforms I use, I like to know the basics of it. And with the philosophy of Sam Altman, who is the CEO of OpenAI, says that the output you get from the AI is directly related to the input that you give. And that's why I'm so passionate about prompt engineering. We've moved from the information age. I think I have 250 gigabytes of cloud storage. I have like 2 terabytes of hard drive storage stored in my office desk and locked away. That's my backup. I have my laptop is almost full. So we have all this information, but when are we actually going to use it? Now, think of the AI as someone, these large language models, they're based on LLM, they're large language models. Just think about it as somebody who knows everything, all your computer, all those files you've stored, and you want to get that information from them. You have to know how to ask it. And that's why, as agencies, we are not threatened by like the openness, by the OpenAI giving even people for free, because the output that you get is determined by the input. So I need runners. They are finance experts. So they actually know the language to use for them to get the desired outcomes. As a marketer, I know the language to use to get the right strategies. So you still need, because I'm just thinking about it, it's a time saver, which time is the most valuable resource we have. And so even as agencies, we are now able to work with very lean teams and work very fast. So it's just an efficiency that has been brought about by AI, and we really appreciate and we are blessed to be alive in a time such as this.
Okay, so when I said agencies, I made it look like, you're working with big organizations. Let me throw you another question. Can small businesses also use AI to compete with larger companies in the digital marketing space?
Correct, 100%. And this is where leveling of the playing field is coming in. I've said using the right prompts, you can use ChatGPT as, just as simple as actors. And again, like I said in the intro, I just want people to understand on how to use this AI properly, because we are coming from the culture of Googling everything and getting suggestions. And I'm seeing a lot of users transferring the same culture. You're coming to Google from ChatGPT, it won't work. The artificial intelligence, the intelligence part of the machine is powered by machine learning, those things that have, all those data sets. So it might spew out some answers intelligently. And maybe because you don't have enough information, you're not a profession, you read the English and you'll think that it's perfect. But if you give a profession to look at it critically, they'll be like, this is just like mumbling, this is very shallow. And so even most of the reports, people are just going in, even students are just using ChatGPT as Google, which is a wrong approach. You have to give a background context. You have to contextualize. You have to give the artificial intelligence. Remember, it doesn't know anything, but at the same time, it knows everything. So you have to really give the context, the background, the tone, the mood, everything. So prompt engineering is where I think a lot of business people need help. And from the keynote speaker, he highlighted the business processes. So it is possible for you to train AI. Most popular right now, ChatGPT, because it's the one that gave us these things openly. You can be able to train AI in every part of your business process so that you have like an expert consultant, no matter the size of your business. If you are here and you have a small business and you have a big vision to have all departments, why don't you start by training AI to be playing part in every department that you might wish to have, and you will get the correct, inputs, and you will get the correct outputs as well. So input is directly relating to the output. And so I'd like people to just get back to the basics and really use AI properly.
Okay, thank you so much. So get back to the basics and work with the professionals, but also be part of the process. Don't leave that whole responsibility to the experts to do it for you. Be a part of it. We talked about business ideas, and you showed us how somebody was able to actually use what they have to generate money. Now, how can AI simplify the transition from informal setup, so small businesses, so that they can actually grow? A business is small, not necessarily a startup, even a business that is established. How can artificial intelligence simplify the transition from them being at this level and moving to the next level so that they have some structures as a business?
Thank you, Brannis. I think a lot of what I see small businesses struggling with is marketing and client engagement. You have this, you have the very best products, you have your vision in place, you have your mission in place, but there's that phone number you've put on your website, it never goes through. How many of us have tried to call a phone number on our website? It's not going through. Sometimes even my own, I find that phone, people are telling me, Madam, simu ilikuwa imezimika. Simu yako ilikuwa imezimika. So we struggle with like client engagement, how to market, and we think it's this very, very big thing. So how personally I'm using AI to do that is maybe the bots, so that the other day, I thought for a very long time that I was chatting with a human being, me, and I know I could tell a lot of AI. But the way that person has prompted, like done very, very, very good commands, I actually thought that I was chatting with a human being in India. So they even kept saying, hey, Betty, you are taking me at it. Funny. So I actually thought we were chatting, we kept chatting, they were selling me something. They closed me on a $2,500 bill, like $2,000 without being there. So the day I log in, it tells me, hey, Betty, it's very good to see you, and then he told me, guess what? Guess who sold you? Guess who closed you? So he showed me the system. It's an AI, they've done an AI system. It's a sequence with jokes. So they've gone through my Facebook profile. They know my way of speaking. They know my personality. They know at what point I would laugh. They know I use emojis. So very nicely trained it to speak to me. So at some point I felt very cheated, like we should have started and this thing closed me. But then I also really admired that. So we are here sitting. You are the CEO of your small business. You probably do not have someone to pick your phone calls. They shouldn't go unanswered. The client must have someone responding. We are not available right now, but I'll call you in 1 hour's time. You can use simple bots, simple like email list. We have many tools that are helping us do email, free email sequencing, so that the one you send them something small about children with autism, then you queue those emails. You don't have to be the one to send those emails every day. You queue them on Sunday afternoon and say, this one, send it on Monday, send this one on Tuesday, send this one on Thursday. Send. If they say no, don't bother me, remove them. And you are telling that system to do that for you. So I think I wouldn't want us to overthink these things. But also, we fail in terms of marketing to our clients because we want to be there physically, and we also fail in terms of client engagement. They reach out to us, we are not there to respond. I have a group of 700 people. So I noticed the other day, I will be so tired inviting these people to an event. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. But number two, I also do not want to get someone who does not understand my client to handle them. And by the way, the next phase of technology and the next phase of business, the next 5 years we are going into, clients are not looking for, they now have all the information. There's nothing you're coming to tell me about anything. I can Google it and I can ask ChatGPT. That's not what people are looking for. People are looking for intimacy. We are now in that level. Sarah, it's very good to see you, Madam Sarah. Sarah there wants to feel that she's heard by Betty and her company. Whatever she wants from me, we hear her. We are not throwing her to technology like that. So we have to find a balance between making our clients feel heard and cared for and loved so that they remove their wallet, and using technology. So even when you hear LB saying, queue all my information using AI, you also have to personalize it and tell it, act like me. So you will say something to ChatGPT like I said, I have a group of 700 AI enthusiasts and people who are interested in learning more about AI. Most of them, I'm telling ChatGPT, according to the poll I've conducted 2 weeks ago, most of them told me they have not started their online businesses, they are afraid, they are not confident. I tell it everything. You don't have to type, by the way. You can even take a screenshot of these notes, these ones. Take a screenshot of these notes, attach it on ChatGPT, tell ChatGPT, read that text from that thing I've attached, and now give it to me as text. So it takes as text. So I told it, this is what my people feel. I would like to invite them to an event. This is how I would want them to feel. Can you help me come up with 7 days text messages that I can schedule for them to feel like we are conversing, we are friends, and I don't want any of them to feel like I don't care about them. Then I copied a little bit of the information I write on emails and say, this is me on email. Now act as Betty and give me good information. So once in a while I check to see the responses. Someone is like, hi, Coach Betty, appreciate your personal invitation. So we must use AI, but we also must use it knowing that the client is looking for intimacy from us. We can't throw them now, go to ChatGPT deal with my people, AI deal with my people, absolutely not. So I think in terms of marketing, where we struggle most in client engagement, we can make use of AI, but don't forget and leave your people to technology. It's going to be counterproductive.
Yeah, I know it would be really an imbalance for you to be very savvy when it comes to technology, but when it comes to a one-on-one engagement, we're talking and there's a disconnect. So thank you so much for that. Ronald, a quick one to you, and I want you to talk about what are some of the global trends that you're seeing when it comes to AI, and with relevance to what it is you're doing? Because I know that also touches on how people are running their businesses. So what are some of the global trends that you've seen that you'd like to mention here today?
Okay, let me start with the main one. And this is kind of bad news, is taxation. You will not be able to avoid tax globally, because globally tax authorities are integrating AI into their tax systems. To Kenya here, we are still fighting with IFRS, and in Uganda they have IFRS, which they have completely integrated in their tax management system, meaning by the time the end year comes, the authorities have already determined what is your corporate tax, how much income you received from which organization. So long as you're using card, you're using M-Pesa, all data has been integrated, and they will always be able to determine how much tax you're paying. ETIMS is going to mature and is not going anywhere because it's a global trend. If you go to Rwanda, you can hardly avoid to pay any single VAT that you're talking about. And tax is a global trend that is catching up with the businesses. But good news is that the competitive edge of the next frontier of business will not be about tax compliance. How compliant are you? You will need an expert to guide you, to support you, because you can no longer evade tax in a more casual manner, but you have to be strategic. You have to have somebody who understands how to, what is the tax payable, what are the opportunities for tax avoidance, which is legal again. And then the other issue is risk mitigation. Because if you're in business, you'll agree with me, fraud is a very rampant phenomenon. So fraud protection, today we use AI in fraud investigation because it's always a bit difficult without the tools to help you analyze a very massive amount of data, but that is happening. Then the other aspect is now AI replacing human beings. You find that companies that were very highly employed, for instance, in our space, you realize that we have global companies that were employing very many people, now working with very few number of staffs, becoming lean, because they're able to replace, the way she said, customer service with AI. They're able to replace certain aspects of the business with AI tools. So again, if you're in business and you are highly employed, the biggest question is to ask yourself is what kind of transactions, jobs that you can profitably automate and eliminate human interventions so that you can maximize the profitability of your organization. So the digitization strategy is trying to avoid trying to identify what kind of transactions that you can automate and reduce on cost. And now we are going in an era whereby we need very intelligent, clever people who will only be able to use AI in critical decision making. That's the global trend as regards AI. Those three aspects: taxation, issues to do with the lean organizations in terms of embracing AI and other technological trends, and also in the issue of risk management and fraud prevention. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to digress a little if I ask you this question, but I've talked to a few businesses, not necessarily represented in this room, but the people who are talking about this tax conversation, that the government is now tightening the noose on people who are evading tax, and they say, you know what, let's do business cash. So we don't pay me by M-Pesa, don't send money to my account, we can still transact. Please touch a little bit on that.
It's not a sustainable business model, because either way, you have to go and buy something. Or if you buy a car, you have to register the logbook. They will catch you. Where do you get the money to buy the car? Unless you keep cash and don't buy anything. If you buy land, they will see. You bought land from this company here. You bought land and you have to register the title. So you'll get caught. So as I said, that with the integration of AI, we have nowhere to hide when it comes to tax compliance. The strategy is know what taxes are we supposed to pay and align and get consultants who will advise us accordingly. Because the beauty about tax is tax authorities don't demand 100% of your money. They demand a percentage of your profit, especially when it comes to corporate tax. VAT, they just say collect money on our behalf and remit after you've offset what you also paid to your suppliers. So again, the most important and sustainable strategy is to embrace tax, especially if you're looking forward to grow. I say that the only way in the future to avoid taxes either is to be very poor or to be very rich. Because very poor, nobody would be interested if you don't have a car, if you don't have land, if you don't have assets that if you buy, they will easily catch up with you. Or if you're very rich, you might actually lobby for tax incentives and very good tax holidays that government is always extending to rich people in order to create employment. But middle way there, please look for me because they will finish you, isn't it?
All right. So even in the month of December, as we're thinking of holidays, remember these tax holidays, tax incentives. Yeah. And let's not just think about doing business. Let's really focus on doing business right. Yeah. Mukiri, we're still on profit maximization. Now, do you have any examples of businesses that have successfully used artificial intelligence to grow and to expand?
All right. Locally, I think there are
just give us a scenario so that we're able to conceptualize.
There are many different companies that are doing this. Firstly, our company is doing that. And just to give you an overview, and also to touch on the business models, initially what we had as a company was machine learning engineers, myself included, who were like, we can solve the issues in the healthcare system in Kenya by building diagnostic models, right? So we came up with a couple of models that was tuberculosis, pneumonia, or prevalent diseases within our region. And then we quickly realized that there's no way to capture these things in hospitals. So you have a model, but how is it effectively integrated and distributed? So over time, we realized the need now to shift our model into what we call a distribution platform, some of the things that you will see within the space and how people are responding to artificial intelligence. So we built out an entire AI solution, which means now we are able to touch on every point of that particular process. That's the radiology process. We provide the data viewer, which means the radiographer can see the images of the viewer. We provide data storage, which means the hospitals can leverage on data commercialization at some point. We provide the AI diagnostic models, which mean now we can improve the accuracies of doctors around the region. And we also provide teleradiology, meaning that the 268 radiologists we have in Kenya and the 2/3 of the world that has no access to radiologists, through the platform that we have, we can tap into remote access to our radiologists. So from our company's perspective and what we were able to see with regards to how the AI business models are transitioning, this is the reality. We're still at layer one. Layer one means typically what is happening is that we're layering. We are building on top of AI. We are trying to improve the efficiencies. We are trying to see how we can leverage the tools that are existing and all that. This is the phase one. And according to the market expansion theory, what happens with every single technology is that the fast dog is that we layer on. And then the next phase, we will see an emergence of AI native companies, which means what we initially intended to do when we just had the models, but we didn't have a way now to integrate them because you have systems. And then the third phase that we will see in terms of now artificial intelligence is where we have companies responding to AI native companies, which means now you've got into a point of maturity, like what you see with the internet. You saw the way over time we have transition and how we have grown. So that is what you can expect in terms of the AI business models. At this point, essentially what you're going to see is more of maybe AI product as a service. AI as a service, you're going to see data commercialization, which is something I'm very passionate about because it's a huge problem within our region. You find that a majority of the companies don't know how to keep the data, don't know how to leverage the data, and in our case, hospitals delete the data. So you find that a ton of all the hospitals in Kenya, at the end of every week, someone goes somewhere and literally deletes every single piece of image they have that would be very critical in us building our own and also going all the way to precision medicine. So those are some of the things that you currently will see. And then you will also see companies like our own, which is our platform, the companies that are now trying to venture into being AI native companies. And those are the companies that are going to be depicted as in the next phase of AI. So currently incumbents can really leverage on what we have. So that is that. And I wanted to mention a couple of companies just within Africa. We have what is called deep tech. So deep tech is a convergence between software and hardware. And where we see companies shining within our region and where even investors from other parts of the world are really, really interested in is where Africans now are able to match those two. So we have companies like Permity, which is within the Egypt region. They were able to produce some kits even within the COVID period that were able to leverage both artificial intelligence and also be able to test out for COVID. We also have Deeply from Morocco that is doing so much in agriculture. Someone asked about that. They're leveraging AI in starting the leaf and seeing how the leaf is changing. So that's another very successful company. Even locally, we have a ton of companies that are not only building AI solutions, but also leveraging. I think Safaricom is one of the best examples. They sit on a pile of data, which they continually leverage. We also see, even within the interactions we've had, before we go to a point where we're like, now we know this is artificial intelligence from ChatGPT, we had companies leveraging. For example, one of the most effective ways was a recommender system, where I go onto YouTube and I'm trapped for 5 to 6 hours a day. So essentially what they were leveraging is the psychology of man and also leveraging both contextual and collaborative recommendations to provide you with more content and keep you very attached. And that is why you find companies are able to make more profits by keeping you on their product and consuming their product. So I don't know if I've captured your question well in terms of the profits.
We would definitely want to know companies that we can relate with, and thank you that you've mentioned Safaricom. Though Safaricom still seems to be a giant. I think some companies here always feel like Safaricom can't be the yardstick, but I'd definitely be interested in helping the audience understand how even small businesses can actually use what it is they have with regards to an understanding of AI to try and grow or leverage their businesses. I will come back to you on that question. But you've talked about data, and I want to throw this question to you, Elvis. How important is data in helping us make certain decisions? So entrepreneurs who are running businesses or companies, do they really need this data on a daily basis? What is the importance of data for them in terms of just driving their business growth?
Well, I think data is very important because even for me, people think that I wake up in the morning and then just shoot videos and post it. No, I have to check data. Data can be as simple as insights. And we're living in a world where you have to make data-driven decisions. When I say data-driven decisions, is you can't sell a product by just thinking that that product is going to be needed in the market. And that is where, like, for example, let me read these out for you. And one of the things you can actually take advantage of is data insights, where we have things like predictive analytics, where you look at trends. There's so many platforms that will allow you to understand market shifts and preferences of people. Yeah, like if you want to sell, it's like, for example, I don't know, if you want to sell something within Nairobi, I think the first thing you will do is ask around. Does this thing, And recently I was in a networking session and we were being told that the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics has a lot of data, but we don't like taking advantage of it. I'll give you an example. Most people think that when I began my content creation journey, I'll shock you, I was a comedian. I used to create comical videos. And I actually started content creation. People think I'm in this space for 5 years. No, this is my 2 year. This is 2 years now. I started in 2022. So what I did was I thought, I like comedy. So let me just create videos on comedy. And then one day I sat down and looked at the real data from TikTok. And I looked at all other social media platforms. And I realized that everyone is in the entertainment space. 85% of content creators in Kenya are in the entertainment space. True. Those are facts and figures. Where do you find education? So in 2022, I had been able to amass, I think, 90,000 followers from comedy. And I had made no penny from that. I was as broke as they come. 2023, I took a shift and I decided to focus more on education from data. So every single kind of content I publish is basically driven by data. Still on the same aspect of data insights, I think entrepreneurs need to also understand business intelligence tools. And I'll give you this task today. I would like for you guys to research on business intelligence tools like Tableau. We have Power BI, and the best of the best is Google Analytics. All right. I also think that it's important for people to also have financial forecasting. If we were given a chance, I think everyone would have probably sat down and forecasted whether COVID-19 would have happened, right? And probably businesses would not have shut down. But right now, we have the ability to take data, get to understand it before you even start selling a product. I mean, don't sell a product blindly. Companies and businesses, in fact, the funny thing is I also came to learn that data will also guide you in marketing. You don't market just because you woke up in the morning and decided that this is a strategy I will take. So ideally, data is very important. And we're in a point where we have to speak about data-driven decisions. And that is where we have data analysts, we have data scientists, machine learning, right? So I think data is part and parcel of what you do as an entrepreneur.
Thank you so much. You just mentioned something that I think for me has just reminded me. How many of you sitting in the audience today have a board? Your organization has a board, like a board of directors. Just put up your hand so that I can see them. Okay, so let's say less than, like about maybe 8 to 10 people in the room. You know that one of the responsibilities of your board is to focus on some of the emerging trends or what it is that could hurt your company or your business. You know that, yeah? Okay, so those who are experts or who are good at what they do, when you're invited to sit in a board, remember that that is also your responsibility. So some of the things that have been mentioned here, in terms of just business intelligence tools, forecasting, you know, understanding the trends, we're hearing them talk about them here, but please, for your own business and for you as an individual, sit down with the experts and understand the panelists, just to understand what is it that I need to apply from what it is you said, what can I apply into my business and also for myself as an individual. I'm going to give you your last questions because we're short of time. There'll be your last question and then there'll be your parting shot. So are we okay? Can we still go on? Are we together? Okay, thank you so much. I know sometimes these conversations can be a bit too much for a day, but John, please tell us, what are some of the key AI tools or platforms that as a business, when we have a marketing team, what are some of the tools that we should be familiar with? Even if it's just the basics, what should we know? I have a company, I have a marketing team. What are some of the tools that they need for us to be able to be running our operations in a good way, so to speak?
Thank you so much. Not to sponsor any particular tool, but I think because artificial intelligence is here with us, my first comment is that you should actually use it. And OpenAI did an amazing job of giving it out for free. But the giants like Meta, that's Facebook, Google, has been using artificial intelligence all through. And now, since OpenAI came up, they have really also come up. They have moved from what the keynote speaker was saying. What was the second last, Nane? Underground. Yeah, they've now come from the underground to the active ones. So AI has been used quite a lot, and even your Netflix, they're recommending because you watch this, we know you like this. Because you search this, we like this. Google ads, Meta ads, because you searched for a car, now all the ads on your timeline are cars. All this is powered by artificial intelligence that are captured by your cache. Why am I giving you that background information? It's just to tell you that it is actively being used by everybody else. So you should also jump in the bandwagon. And OpenAI's ChatGPT is quite affordable as an entry, and it is quite advanced. Google has just launched Gemini. Meta has launched Llama. We've just heard about, so you have to think about your business and what exactly do you need to use. So for texts, ChatGPT is okay. For images, DALL-E 3 is good, because also owned by OpenAI. And for videos, we have like HeyGen. We just saw the example of how it can create realistic videos. So even without a big budget, you can create videos. And even Runway. And also we have, because some of these APIs are open, we have companies who have taken all those open source AIs and made like a dashboard where using one dashboard, you can get multiple, like 8 to 10 AI, in one dashboard. And one of them is actually a friend of mine here in Kenya's Motuku, KaziliAI.com. They've really done a good job of bringing about the premium versions of AI and just putting together a toolkit where business people can start using as a subscription. And so if you cannot afford everything, or maybe your budget is not that big, but really the value that you get in integrating of AI, the savings aspect, what employees are fearing as it is going to take away my job, just take it as, from entrepreneur perspective, I'm looking at it as this thing is going to save my budget and it's going to increase efficiency. So those are some of the basic tools maybe I can just mention on the get-go. Think about how would you want to implement this. From a digital marketing perspective, content is king. Content will always be king. So you need a writer, ChatGPT can write. You need images, DALL-E will do that. You need videos, Runway or HeyGen will do that. You need to automate your email sequences, your welcome customers, chatbots will do that. Nice email marketing like MailChimp, talk about something like Klaviyo, email marketing, powerful things that have been already integrated with AI. And I also like you mentioned Canva, because for small businesses and small entrepreneurs, generating content, graphics, posters, videos, you can also integrate Canva. So, yeah.
Okay, so you've mentioned almost all of them, and I don't want you to try and capture all of them. Just mark him at the end of the session. Yeah. Betty, please tell us, how can these entrepreneurs identify profitable niches, profitable ones? Maybe you were able to help them as a coach. Do they need someone who can guide them? Because maybe their thinking is more about, I already have a product and this product was supposed to generate some money for me. How would they be able to identify some niches that would be profitable for their businesses?
And ones that they can actually use AI. I'll say this, when we coach, we say we get into business for 3 reasons. Some of us, we want to make income. And Kenya as it is now, we really want to make income. You want to make an income. Some want to make an income and make an impact. Some people don't care about the income. They've already made the income. They're looking at how can I make an impact in my space. Some other people want to make, they want to influence a certain generation. I like Elvis. In fact, we've met today, but we've met a lot online. I saw him when he started creating his videos. I was very excited when he switched to education because that's where I am, and we have very few. The other day when Dennis Itumbe brought up a policy of, creator economy, and when I looked at that policy, I was like, this policy is only for the, what is this industry called? The laughing one, the comedy. There's nothing here for us who create education content, who are creatively, we are not in comedy, but we are creatives. So going back to that, we do business for income, impact, and influence. You can choose where you fall. You could be doing it for income and influence, and impact, or for the three. Or there are people who just want to do, let me make a lot of money right now, then I'll go figure out legacy matters later. Especially if you are young, surely why are you worried about legacy and influence and all those things? So this is what I would say. In this day and age, AI and AI tools can help us make as much money as we would wish to. In fact, I heard Ronald saying now we will not be able to hide tax-wise. We have been hiding some sort of way. But now since we won't be able to hide, how do we then fill up that space that has, we now have given a lot of tax outside? I didn't get worried about that because you can now use AI to increase your income, to 10x your income. And how do we end up doing that? There's a book I'm reading. I bought it here at Textbook Center, Sarit. It's called The Singularity is Nearer. It's very new. I don't know how many of us. It's a June 24 book, June 2024 edition. The Singularity is Nearer. And then the tagline is, when we match with AI. That's not something to scare us so much, but the writer predicts that by 2029, AI intelligence, artificial intelligence, and human intelligence will match. So machines are going to be very intelligent. So why do we read those things, and why do we need to know these things? Then he says, by 2049, life will be so easy and nice for all those people who start now learning how to work with AI in their simple forms. We will choose if you want to die 20 this year, you can use AI to prolong your life, to stop aging. We will have better medical care because that doctor that can make mistakes will be guided by AI. So that being the case, I think what I will say is, let's go for the niches that, what are you looking for? Are you looking for income? I think when I look at this demographic, maybe most of us could also be looking for an income. If you are looking for an income, let's go for that. I see people get very afraid, and it's our nation, it's our generation. We are so afraid of talking about money. We are so afraid of being judged. I see people call Elvis all sorts of names. The more they call him names, the more he continues doing content. And you see, at the end of the day, he's building his fellowship, he's building his income. And, people tell you all sorts of things. But what I would end up saying is, look at what you want. In this day and age, please don't keep focusing on your passion. My passion is singing, and that passion is not bringing an income. Switch a little bit, make use of AI, and then follow. You see, passion will come later. Let's do the money, then we do an impact, then we do influence.
All right, thank you so much. I'm being told we're pressed for time, and I'm really sorry that I need to push you in 1 minute. Ronald, please tell us, as a leader of over 150 professionals, wow, do you view AI as a threat? And if not, how do you see AI transforming the way organizations manage and develop talent?
AI is not a threat. AI is a friend. Last week, we did an advert we did content creation on our social media. We got connected to one client in Canada who was looking for a firm to support them across the African continent. Yesterday, we signed a contract of about 104,000 USD, courtesy of AI.
Makofi tafadhali.
For someone who was looking for us all the way from Canada. AI is a friend. In the era of AI, you don't need to be broke unless you really need. You need to use AI to unlock your financial freedom. But today, with AI, the world has become a global village. You don't even need to have your company in Kenya. If you don't like Kenya, you can actually set up your company in Delaware, in Mauritius, in Dubai, in Seychelles, and you can be a citizen of any of those countries by virtue of revenue generation in those countries, but earning your income. AI is a friend. If you choose to use it, most important thing, and my parting shot, let's AI not create you, but you create AI. Make AI your tool for business. Thank you.
Ronald has said you are not a tree. If you don't like where you are, you move. But please, we love Kenya. Let's just be here. Mukiri, see, we love Kenya. What Kenya daima? Okay. So Mukiri, please tell us. I want to pick one question because I have three here, and I want to pick one that will help you to finish this off very well. As a manager of Neutral Labs Africa, you're making a lot of strides in addressing Africa's healthcare challenges through AI. What are some key applications that you've used to change this sector? Because yours is the health sector. What are some of the applications? Can you do that in 2 minutes? Okay.
The key applications we see within the area. Okay, so firstly, just to give an example of what we experience and what I think everyone who's building an AI native product will experience. If you get a model from US for chest pathologists, for example, it's not going to work in Kenya. Why? Because when you go to the region in America, you will not find the same diseases we have here. When you come to Kenya and within the African region, you'll find we have TB, we have pneumonia, we have malaria, we have such kinds of ailments. So if you get a model that is trained on the American data, it is not going to work well here. And this is one of our greatest focuses as a company. We are Afrocentric, and our passion has been how can we provide our own homegrown solutions that target our own problems as Africa. There's a company that approached us when I was at the Sandbox of Kenya from the UAE with a robo-advisor. They wanted to bring it to a market where you can have the system tell you this is where you should put your money, this is where you put your money. But the reality is that they couldn't break into our market because our socioeconomic factors are very different from the ones that they trade their models on. So this is what I see really matters within our region and with what we're doing as a company. We need to focus on the solutions that target us, and we need to have the right data to do so, which means all the companies here firstly have to ensure that the data that you have, keep it well, make sure you have proper pipelines so that you can be able to commercialize it and leverage it at some point. Other models you see, you will have to do some fine tuning, you will have to do some clinical validation with our local data. And then what we see within the healthcare space, we are in the diagnostics. It's one of the largest and most capitalized on space. We have 2/3 of the world without access to a majority of the medical services. Africa, for example, is very underserved and under-resourced. So what we see are hardware devices. We have actually portable ultrasounds, portable everything. We have wearables where you're putting it on your wrist. It's collecting a ton of data about you. We have diagnostics. We have what we are working on towards as a company, which is precision medicine. We want to collect as much data to make sure that we can personalize healthcare. But what does this mean? We're not going to treat diabetes the way diabetes is treated in terms of the common protocols. How can we look at you as an individual, look at your genome, your lifestyle, your composition, and actually provide the most effective solution and way to treat that diabetes? So that is where we're looking at in terms of healthcare. And that is where the world is headed. And just to give an overall general view of how everything is going to look like, they mentioned personalization and customization. You will see a lot of that. And you will also see the companies that do not adopt AI are going to die. Remember what happened to Kodak, Nokia, Polaroid, Blockbuster. If you do not enter now, because obviously we're going to AI native and AI dominance, chances are it will be very hard for you to build the acumen and very, very hard for you to actually maneuver. So the sooner you begin with a very easy, just work on those steps, start building the skill set of your employees, start endeavoring to build out strategies on how your company is going to remain very competitive so that you don't die. And just one more thing, and the very last thing, just draw a comparable between OnePlus 12, which is arguably the best phone of 2024 in terms of hardware and in general, and see how well it does against Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra and Oppo Find X8 Pro. The reason why the latter two are doing very well is because they have AI. Their software is shining. The OnePlus is the most solid. It will give you 10 years. So think about that as you do your product.
Well, thank you so much. She said have a story, you need to engage and you need to have feedback. Don't depend solely on AI to give you all the answers. Elvis, your last parting shot, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs who want to start this journey? They really want to do this right. They've been running it, but they want to do it right based on what it is they've had today. What advice would you have for them?
I think the first thing for you to start something so well is to get educated. Education, like spend like a few hours on YouTube or a few minutes on YouTube, understand what artificial intelligence is. I learned about artificial intelligence through TikTok. Well, there are guys who create videos and tell you, if you're looking for this and this, you can use AI for that. And that's when I actually started discovering ChatGPT. Education, and start small. Generally, take advantage of each and every AI that comes your way. Just understand what it is. You don't really have to first pay. You don't have to pay generally. You can start with the free versions of the same. Yeah. And also on the same perspective. You see, I'm a content creator. And I advise people nowadays that the cheapest and the most affordable way for you to sell your products or services is to create content. When you create content, you're marketing yourself. You're building a brand. I'll shock you that I learned something called about a personal brand this year. Someone was telling me, what is your personal brand? And I tell them, I don't know what that is. And basically, it's just a collection of what you do on social media. So take advantage of AI. So start small, learn, sharpen your skills on the same, create some content. AI can really save you. It can really apply in some of the weirdest things in life. Like an example for me, I always had to hear this lady telling me, Elvis, what is your love language? You know, me, I never knew what love language is. So me, I thought it was English or French or Swahili. Unfortunately, there is a specific AI is going to save you at that kind of a moment. How can you apply it? Entrepreneurs, because I'm in a room with entrepreneurs, I'll tell you to take advantage of artificial intelligence to build personal brands. I had someone who mentioned that they do personal branding or personal brand coaching or something like that. But take advantage of that. There's a guy on YouTube called Dan Koi. DANKOE. Yes. I'd like for you guys to go and watch his content. Slowly, we are orienting to a world that people will be looking for you on social media and checking up on you on Google. A lot of people are afraid of creating content and using artificial intelligence to their benefit. I mean, I use it every day. Just when I was here, I've published a post on LinkedIn and it already has 1,500 impressions. You see? So you use AI for the very simple things. It would have taken me like 10 minutes to craft it. But with ChatGPT 4, I've done that with less than 30 seconds. And I just had to snap a picture. Before you leave this room, take 10 photos. All right? Then after you take 10 photos, how many people know how to record their voice? Every phone nowadays has a sound recorder, right? So let me simplify it for you. Record your sound, record yourself speaking anything. Same even if you met some tall guy who was, who's in this. And then after you're done with that, upload that particular audio note on a AI called Otter AI. That is OTTER. It's going to transcribe it for you. Now it's going to convert what you've said into text. Then you're going to go to ChatGPT, and then you're going to specifically use specific keywords. I like what John Digital has said, that you need to understand how to use it properly, the proper prompts. So you'll mention what event you're at. You're going to mention what you've learned, and then you're also going to share that transcript. And then you're going to generate like 10 social media posts, or even 5. You see, most people are looking for the perfect post. The perfect post is going to be perfect to you, but not perfect to everyone else. Start with that very simple one and keep building. Be very disciplined. That is my parting shot. And ideally, AI is going to make you more creative, more educated, and more resilient, and more adaptive. You can imagine 5 years from now, there are people who will be asking, what is AI? Be ahead.
A round of applause to all the panelists this morning. Thank you so much. For me, my parting shot is what he has just said. Your perfect is not their perfect. So just post. But then I keep hearing that. Just do it afraid, start. Anyone who's going to be posting anything on your pages today, kindly tag Digital Regenesis. We'd like to see those photos. We'd like to see your posts. We'd like to hear what it is you want us to respond to. I want to take this opportunity to ask my panelists to stand in front for a photo, and then we would invite Eunice to come and finish off, as we have gone a little bit way past our time. Can you move to the front? These are part of the 10 photos that he's talking about. Thank you so much. I'll hand the microphone to Eunice to finish. Wow, wow, wow. Another better round of applause for our speakers. Imagine we don't have time for questions. Imagine, because the hotel is waiting for me. You can see the people outside there waiting for me because we started late and we need to leave. But before we leave, I really wanted to give a minute to each of our partners. Let me start with Mwananchi Credit. Mwananchi Credit, let's have Catherine. Please come. Let's give a round of applause to Catherine Samwa, karibu sana, the COO of Mwananchi Credit. Please take a minute or two.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Catherine Kisamwa, Chief Operating Officer, Mwananchi Credit. I have a parting shot. We don't sell loans. We don't sell money. We sell convenience powered by air. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. And I know you have seen that advert from Mwananchi Credit. Have you seen that advert that comes at 9 p.m. at night? For that very fat person that is talking about you want to take a loan, and then they have your logbook and they are calling Joroge. Kuna kagari hapo. You've seen that, yes? And I think that is AI. Another clap for Mwananchi Credit. Thank you so much. Ronald's LLP, please come and say something. A minute, just a minute, Ronald. Because of time, in the interest of time, thank you for your support.
Morning. Yeah, so my name is Ronald. I'm the group partner of Ronald's LLP, a digitally enabled tax audit accounting firm based here in Nairobi, but with branches in Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, and operating in over 110 countries through partnerships and collaborations. So if you want to scale your business to another level, expand, ensure that it's very well professionalized, please talk to us so that we can help you. Yeah, so our purpose as an organization is what I normally call, we are the GPS of business. You know, GPS, G meaning we help people and organizations to grow. P means we help you and to professionalize, and S means we help you to be more sustainable. Others, thank you so much. It was a pleasure partnering with the Digital Genesis for this program, and looking forward to say hi to each one of you at the end of this session. Thank you.
Wow, another better clap for Ronald LLP. And then we have HF Group. HF Group, we have the branch manager from Westers branch, Mr. Eugene Busolo. A round of clap as he comes. Karibu sana. HFC has been our partner for long. Thank you so much.
Good evening. Oh, good afternoon. Well, I see we are all awake. Okay. Good afternoon. So I should still insist. You still insist on morning. Well and all right. Good morning. My name is Eugene Busolo, branch manager at HF Group in Westlands. We sit on Sky Park building. All said and done, we are all business people. And when it comes to business, financial intermediaries can never be left aside. That's why we are here as HF Group to ensure that for you who has excess liquidity, we can keep the money for you. And we'll pay you something for it handsomely. And for you in business who is looking for money on the other side, we are here to advance the same money to you. Of course, you'll return at a small fee on top of it. So as a bank, we are positioned to take care of your needs. We finance what we call wealth creation and lifestyle. Lifestyle for personal needs and wealth creation for people in a business. Please feel free to reach out to us anytime, and we'll be more than willing to partner with you to achieve the best at the end of the day. We always say we are here to enrich lives through financial empowerment. Thank you so much.
Round of applause from HF Group. Then we have ICA Lion Group, and we have Joyce Isaiah. Let's give her a round of applause. Karibu sana, Joyce, and thank you for partnering with us.
Good morning. You look beautiful from here. My name is Joy from ICA Lion. We are a leading Pan-African provider of insurance and financial services. I'm glad to say that we have incorporated AI. We are now settling our claims in 10 working days and working to move that to 3 working days. Aren't you happy? Yeah, we also have our automated bots. I know if we have any clients, you get your something that responds to you on our website. Yeah, we are making strides. We don't want to be boring anymore, but welcome. I have a few of my colleagues. Maybe they could stand so that you, if you need our services, you can see them. That's Gideon Wandera. I have Maggie, I have Glana and Mothoki. Thank you so much, and thank you.
Thank you, ICA Lion Group. I cannot forget to also mention Gracia Michelle Trusts. They sponsored several women that are here today. So thank you so much. I am sure the IT guys are trying to set up my boss from India to just say hi to you people. But as they do that, I want us to appreciate our speakers, right from the keynote speaker to the panelists. And of course, as I do that, please, my team, Pauline, Santano, please bring the gifts. We have that culture of appreciating our speakers. So let's put our hands together for our speakers, right from the keynote speaker and the moderators and the panelists. Wasn't that and for some? Did you see that we did not just speak from AI, but we picked real people that are using AI? You see, time does not allow us. But when we go outside here, because there is a lot of space, please catch up with these speakers. Take their business cards, ask them questions, because we did have a chance for questions. But now, I see like we are going to follow this event with another online one, isn't it? So that you are able to ask all these questions. So for you, and also the ones that are online, we would like to follow this up with an online meeting for us to ask all these questions. We have your email addresses, we have your mobile numbers, so we shall set up an online meeting so that you can go to the next level of asking the questions. Because I can see you're so hungry for the answers for the questions that you came with. So please, Pauline, ladies first, please, we want to appreciate our speakers. Fabian, please, can you do that?
Thank you very much to our lady speakers, starting with Muriki. Mukiri Mwirigi, kindly step forth. Cameras, this is where you look nice. Thank you so much for making time, for sharing with us your wisdom and experiences. Really appreciate. Next to come up, Coach Betty. You have simplified AI. Thank you very much for making time. We really appreciate. This flight landed safely, thanks to our captain's intelligence. So, Ranis Mayenga, thank you so much for steering this conversation. And definitely we have to have a follow-up conversation so that we exhaust this discussion. Okay, to the gentleman, John Digital, please step up. Thank you so much for making time. You spent the whole morning with us. We really appreciate your time and experience. Bwana Ronald Bosi, you have taken time from your audit assignments. Thank you so much for spending the morning with us. We really appreciate it. Elvis Warutuno, please step up. Thank you so much for digesting AI to what you do on a day-to-day basis. We really appreciate your time. Last but not least, our keynote speaker. You have really imparted us with knowledge and your experiences. Thank you so much for painting the AI picture very clearly. To the participants, thank you as well. Please clap for yourselves.
My boss is online. Is he online? Okay, please put him on for him to say hi.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Am I audible? Am I audible? Okay, good. What a great start to the day. Thanks, Eunice and all the speakers out there. It is a fantastic day. Great discussion, entrepreneurs, good food, good connects. I think we are talking about AI, which is the thing. But just tell you that not everybody looks at AI the same way as we do. One of the writers have recently written about was very disappointed. She was very disappointed about AI, and one of her recent posts, she said, "I want AI to do my laundries and dishes, so that I can do my writing and art." Not for AI to do my writing and art, and I do my laundry and dishes. So it's about perspective. It's about how we look at it. Jokes apart, you know, you are the trailblazers, and thanks for coming and thanks for choosing this event. And a lot of questions would be there. I thought, I'll be coming and just answering those regarding why Regenesis, what is the Regenesis connect with entrepreneurship, why we chose Kenya, and why AI. It has to be answered. I have to. Hello, am I audible? Am I audible? Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Okay. So there were many questions I thought I should answer. That why Regenesis and why, and what has Regenesis to do with entrepreneurship? Why we chose Kenya to do this event? What has to do with Regenesis and AI? I thought I'll just take you back to a journey which started some 37, 38 years ago in Kenya. A Croatian monk who stepped in Kenya some 37 years back. A monk who wanted to work with the poor. He landed in Kenya. He worked in Kenya for some time, and then his life journey took him to South Africa. And he was working with the poor there for for the next 11 years of his life. And then along with his two friends, Dr. Penny and Dr. Vivian, Dr. Marco started this, a beautiful journey called Regenesis Business School, which today is the largest business school. As Eunice told us that it's the largest business school, and it's not just the largest business school. It also puts seed to 20 more companies in the group. So today, Regenesis is a conglomerate with 20 companies. Entrepreneurial success which came out of Africa, and today we are spread in more than 10 countries and growing faster. We are going to be the fastest edtech, probably the fastest in Africa to grow at this scale. And what about and so the regenesis of the genesis of Regenesis is at entrepreneurship. And why Kenya? Because we started in Kenya. And why AI? We have been working on AI from quite a long time, and we have an AI academy. We have a school of technology which focuses completely on technology, and we have trained more than 1,000 corporates and over 50,000 learners on AI. So it gives us some rights to understand the technology and impart the technology, how this technology can be used at work, and it can be used to make these small businesses grow large. We live in a very strange time. We talk about small business owners, small businesses. Today, small is no more small. Small is not insignificant. Small, we represent like today there's a war of David and Goliath, right? The Davids are there sitting in front of us, and they're fighting the mighty, the biggest entrepreneurs out there. And the times have changed. The sling that David used have changed. Now it's the AI tools the AI tool that David has. And what we want to bring is we want to bring not only the AI tool in the hand of David, but the mindset. So we are focusing on mindset and the tool set that is going to bring. So we feel that this AI journey would be incomplete if we don't focus on the mindset to adapt the change of our lifetime. I'll just close my conclude my small talk with a powerful words from, it is attributed to Charles Darwin, to his to his book Origin of Species. It says that it is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. So if we want to be there, we have to embrace the change and we have to thrive that change. Thanks a lot for being there and making this event fantastic. Over to you, Eunice.
Yes, I'm gonna end the event. I'm ending on my side. Okay, can I end on my side? Okay, I'm ending. Pleasure.